energy, the aura on Shroud X just completely shifts.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all on the line, and as a Vanguard, those ultimates are always, all spotlights on you here, guys. We got one more matchup left as we've got these two teams fighting for everything. It's one thing when you have the Titans going against each other up top, but when Land's on the line, when China's on the line, you're going to see these people empty out the rosters, the talents, the ults, you name it, as we've got the first pick and bans coming in.
Let's not forget how Envy found themselves in this lower bracket in the first place, losing out to Sentinels within that first day, being able to save on to that Magneto now in favor for Envy. It's going to be Magneto plays from both ends, not too surprised, wondering here with no Emma Frost. We still sometimes see that Psylocke pick coming out without the mental projection, but they don't want any business with the Wolverine.
Yeah, we've saw ever since they dealt with Nemesis, Shroud X has banned Human Torch every single time at the very beginning, and that's smart. Obviously, when you got Speedery too, you got to get rid of Johnny Storm there. Loki is going to shut down a lot as well. Envy, any good team would, but loves to play the Loki there. And on the opposite side, we're seeing that triple res comp shut down right away. None of that. Doomed is too crazy there on Wolf as well, so they're getting rid of all the big threats.
I was going to say, like, Wolverine has been putting on a showcase. I mean, I'm not too surprised. Wolverine terrors my own games out here, but, Doomed being on that Wolverine is always scary. Vision also could flex over to that, and they take out the Hulk. Target bans continuously keep persisting in these later brackets now.
Wow, I like because what is a comfort pick for them? Lucky for Envy, they got to legit watch and see how Shroud X responded, and they play a lot of Namor. They flex that Vision's one of the best in the business. Well, don't get rid of the King of the Sea, get rid of the Gamma God, and Storm. Oh God, Storm being the save. Speedery on Storm. Guys, get ready for Cat 5.
I was going to say, like, Speedery has always gone over to the Storm, not a focus ban against them here. So Shroud X instead just making sure that the Torch isn't a problem. They would rather, honestly, they would rather deal with that Storm rather than the Torch. I don't blame them there. But taking care of the Lokis even better, because they themselves, if they wanted to, could play the Torch if you're looking at Shroud X. And those Loki lamps are very pesky on trying to get any sort of progress. And they took care of the Punisher too. So I'm expecting some flyers coming into Shroud X.
Now, again, we talk about roles that don't get a lot of loves. Nuck is one of those strategists that can just absolutely pop off to the highest degree. And so we look at the predictions, and right now, 57% being shown towards Envy. Shroud X, I will say this, in domination, time and time again, we've seen them clutch it up here, even in games and series that they've lost.
Yeah, and it's always so close, even in their own interviews, talking about Shroud X specifically, like, they know that it always gets down to the wire, and it could be really intense. They had a little bit of time to I say a little bit, but they had a lot of time to recover, and now diving right back into the action. They're pretty warmed up here, and they're already going to start off with this portal play to get to the point fast, and they got the Moon Knight too to do it.
Leaving Wolverine, though, to Cal and Speedery Storm, that's dangerous. That's playing with fire even without Human Torch here as the teams collide. Kalush, one of the best in the business, oftentimes being able to carry games on his back. Dongman, though, going face-to-face. It's Sorcerer v. Sorcerer here as they're pushing in. Both teams want this point. They know what it can mean to get things going.
Looking on the other side, too, Speedery is trying to get going with having the Invisible Woman, though. Month is going to be able to put that temporary shield just to help them out, but they've lost out on Doomed first, out of position when trying to get into a different angle, and with Cal having the Wolverine available, I hope you're ready to get some kidnaps going.
Have we learned nothing from the 100 Thieves show? You gotta ban Logan. Unless you want to just be made into dinner. I mean, he's slicing and dicing every Vanguard in his path here as Cal, who again was subbed out, but said, put me in, coach, and lived up to the task and was able to perform at a high level. Got his spot back in, performing like it here. Now, Shroud X on the defense, they're just trying to get any amount of space, but it's all Envy at the moment.
Oh, Cal doesn't be able to back away with the rest of the team. Window, Mund having those ultimates available, Nero too, to shift that into the fate of both worlds, but we're going to get the copy first from Nook into Fidel, who has the fate of both worlds, just to try to push in, and with Vision having that final judgment, they're going to try to do the combo together.
Everything ready for both teams here now, and there it is, the final judgment. Every bullet has the name, as we've said before. Vision looking for his first KO, and up goes the meteor, and down goes the Spaceball special as Window connects enough.
Fear LeBron instead. Magneto ult for Magneto ult. The grand slam and the dunk as Speedery gets help to stay alive in the Omega Hurricane, but dropping in from the heavens is going to be the Eye of Agamotto, making them break their necks. It found 2 onto Speedery and Window.
It's the Vanguard show at the moment, and Doom showing who can storm and open up the skies as they trade and get this point back. But 67% on to Envy so far, but they still have some ults to show for it. But strategist-wise, Vicky, that's what I'm concerned about. They're a while away for Shroud X. Cal's got that, he's got that Wolf ult that we know what it can do.
The side-by-side real quick before the zoom in. Okay, I see you guys. Cal having that Wolverine ultimate, though, is going to be something you want to keep in mind. Last stand, as Doomed with the Omega Hurricane, not going to be able to really sustain, as you mentioned, those support ults a little bit far, while Impunity also close to try to build up that meteor. Here comes that Omega Hurricane, though. They unleash the button instead just to build up some time, just in case. Doom knowing, though, that that was just going to be it. Literally throwing themselves into them, I feel like, just to buy in some time, as now Envy get to walk up.
We actually saw Shroud X do this a lot. They would use that Doomed opening to go in and get those ults out or whatever it might be. And then Vision here with the follow-up. And there it is. We've got the turrets out, the gunfire on, trying to get anything rolling from. Can't find anything. The entire team hiding behind structure that can't be broken. Great job of hide and seek. And right now, Envy hiding to perfection now, but 55% tick-tock here for Shroud X.
They were just shoved into the shoebox. Imagine if Impunity just yeeted down that meteor while they were stuck in that corner, but he gets it right afterwards. Gets stunned temporarily, too. Looks like Nero being able to get that stun here, as the rest of Envy have a 6-man ult to work with here, while Shroud X still have their feet planted on this point. Here comes the Omega Hurricane, the survivability after they lost on Cal.
Skies open up and down goes the Hurricane. Can we get any connections for Speedery? No, and up and down. Window, though, gets a connection on Fidel. That's a massive hit with the ults on the line. We've got Impunity going up, trying to get a response, and unfortunately, no connection there. Hitting down, but we do get the follow-up from Dogman with the alley-oop.
The timing on that, too, to get the final KO while Monk puts up the invisible barrier. Kaluch comes in with a quick 2K. Doom gets frozen. Lights out. No more brightest star in the sky, as now Envy gets to reclaim the point, but Shroud X, they stalled for a while. They were ready in 96%.
Oh my gosh, that Eye of Agamotto just now in 4K, ultra wide, team wiping clarity. Insane job from Kalush, as always, with clutch in the jeans. As now Dogman throwing up the portal, and down they go, trying to get this point contested. 85% ticking up. They do have the final judgment to follow. They have no strategist to match it, though. On the either side, Envy without ults as well. This could be their battle to win.
Nook can get it online really quick, though. They'll be able to have it for the next engagement. This forces Vision to play a lot more defensive, to just shove Envy off of this point, to reclaim it. Overtime now taking away in the favor of Shroud X here, too. Doom now coming in with the Supernova that controlled so much of this damage output, as Envy are falling and Vision is moving in.
Vision bringing the guns, the smoke, and the end credits as they grab point 1 after losing 67% to start. Shroud X heating up the fire that they conducted in the early match.
Can we talk about the Ditto combo, though? The fate of both Omega Hurricanes, really, is what that was. And then when the Magneto ults would come in between Window and Impunity, it was who could land onto these Luna Snows first. And usually they would have to be the one taking the brunt end of that ultimate, but at least keeping the Omega Hurricanes alive in the meantime.
And no swish from the basket there from Impunity, but the follow-up and alley-oop from Dogman, that's what you want for in the bigs up front of the Vanguards here. Vision showing what he does best. I talked to Vision last night a while on Twitter, and just they know they can do this. They know they can get there, and they already went through what was about to be a tough loss for that team. And once you fight through adversity like that, it somehow brings you closer and closer. Not to be cheesy, but you love to see the storylines here as we move in. Can Shroud X get the first map off Envy?
This is where history is made, man. In the infancy of Marvel Rivals as an esport, the paths are being carved here. Shroud X will have Nook being on that Loki with the Loki ult, so they could use Fidel and the fate of both worlds to try to re-engage first on this point.
All right, Doom now throwing down the fire to get things started here. And Nuck can give a lot of support that he needs. Wow, a lot of pressure on Kalush early on as the team has to back out because of Doom putting on a show by himself. All you need is some flames now. Getting that pressure on is Speedery. We saw what he can do, the demon of Psylocke. But Nuck with the early opening on the Vanguard of Kalush. That's huge.
That's both of the Vanguards falling down first. That also goes in favor for Shroud X to plant their feet on the point without having to use Nook and that Loki ult.
Yeah, great stuff here. Again, winner punching their ticket to China. They both can taste it as now Nuck still having that ult ready to rock. Impunity and Dogman, we talked about the deadly duo of the post who could alley-oop and get the job done. And wow, look at that hide and seek. It's talking about Doom finding Speeder in the back.
Yeah, Speeder's like, ayo, like, I was just chilling over to the side, got called out by Doom, keeping them in his vision. Vision himself, by the way, on the Punisher, about to have that final judgment. Impunity getting caught, though, in the grasp, in the claws of Cal. Finding that pick, but Vision does get the trade off of Speedery, who hasn't really been able to get set up into position with the Dance of Butterflies. And now the dance off between both. Nook in the copy of that Luna Snow, as well as Nero. The Eye of Agamotto, though, caught months before Nero's able to backtrack to help them out.
Beautiful job from Shroud X. It's like they just came off a reverse sweep. You see all the momentum going with them. The lights flashing, but they're not too bright for Shroud X on the biggest stage, going against one of the biggest teams. Wow, what an opening.
Can we talk about Dogman's Eye of Agamotto's already off the rip? Like, I feel like Dogman usually takes a little bit to ramp up, but this is just 100% like off the rip.
He had 5 games to warm up. I mean, he got that warmed up on that last one versus Techie here, as Impunity and Doom both have everything locked and loaded right now. And the rare silence you don't hear on these maps often, as it seems like even Envy is left stunned at the moment at the result so far here. Supernova up, Tornadoes down, Vicky with the Meteor M, Kitty Slam, the Spaceball special, he throws it. Wow, good shield.
Wow, the flash on the shield was ginormous. Now Shroud X already approaching 95%, but they're stalling for as long as possible. Now as Envy get to just keep their feet on this point. Kaluj has the Eye of Agamotto. They try to isolate them, the Magneto bubble to help them out. Cal, though, gets caught in the middle of using that Wolverine ult. It is doomed. That burns him at the stake, sending him back to the spawn, and he's just harassing the backline for free.
He's roasting, he's toasting. It's the deadly duo. It's ground and air, land and sea. Vision getting the picks needed. Kalush trying to make a difference here, but unable to as they shut down the sorcerer. They put him down, and this is going to be Shroud X all the way, looking confident. And wow, look at Dogman celebrate.
The pop-off, the head nod, the pop-off. Oh my, you know those comms are blazing right now here. Shroud X, they take the first map against Envy. This is literally for everything on the table. This is for the opportunity to compete in person at LAN. And Shroud X already in the driver's seat.
Vision. I mean, he sees the vision for this team. It's clear 2020 what his job and responsibility is to help this team punch their ticket, book their seat, and take some, and honestly, just take everything with him here as we look at the stats and the MVP going to Frank Castle. Vision with 19-0. Vision, guys, your eyes are correct. He didn't die. I mean, are you kidding me?
I had to, you know, I actually do wear glasses, even though I'm wearing contacts right now, but I had to just adjust the contacts in my own eyeballs to see 21,000 damage, like, without getting sent down once. That was honestly, combination with that, with Fidel and Nook, we have to highlight, like, this backline is on another level, but then you have the Loki and Luna combo together, means that you are invincible for those 24 seconds too. You try to match out on the other side where Envy only had the Invisiwoman, and that does make a difference.
I'm just left stunned, especially because Impunity, who has played some Magneto, but obviously a lot on Groot lately, and just seeing what he can do there and the beautiful top off and finish. You have some of the best Vanguard on Vanguard play that we've seen in the tournament so far. The skill level here from these two teams as we just see the perfect eye. Dogman, I swear, it's like, you know, you got aim trainer, he's doing Agamotto trader on the side there because he's showing and glowing and getting those stuns.
It's the worst feeling when you're Invisiwoman trying to double jump, turn invisible away, and you just get jumped. Like, what are you running? And even the attempt on the block right there, Dogman was insane this round. That's why we were highlighting the Eye of Agamotto's, but the blocks there too, the protection before jumping in to just target that one lone Nero who was left on the point before they took it to the second round.
And it's not even that they finished, it's how they finished, Vicky. I mean, what an exclamation point that they put on the end of that map. It wasn't even close on the second map. Wasn't even close. 19-0 KDA. I'm pretty sure Vision's pretty happy with that on Frank Castle there. My goodness, what an effort from Shroud X. Now down, what, 2 games? Now they're up 4.
They're on fire. They got warmed up. You said it. They've already played like 5 other games. You know what? So they're ready to go. They're ready to GG go next. And Vision being enabled, not even going down once. And Dogman with these Eye of Agamottos keeping Vision alive too from the backline. I mean, everything from Shroud X was fantastic. And it is like you mentioned too. It was a little bit closer in that first round, but that second round was just a mollywop.
And I gotta say, it's so fun to watch the story of Shroud X thus far. I've seen them together. I've heard their group Discord calls as Shroud joins in. It's just been such a fun journey thus far, and the job is far from done. As we hit match 1, we're going to match number 2. In Envy, they know what they've got to do. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna be back after this quick break. What's going on, guys? Again, we said it was an insane day of rivals, and we have now made that 2 days, Vicky. Late into the night here, Shroud X claiming what seemed to be a pretty easy W from Envy. On that game, Vicky, what stood out to you that made it that easy?
Cal not breaking over 6k damage, and Speedery not being able to get anything, like truly anything. Speedery went 3 and 4, but we saw like multiple times that Speedery got called out by Doomed. So Doomed was keeping an eye on the backline to help peel, but the duelists were not able to get set up. That and like Dogman getting these like surprise jump scare Eye of Agamottos.
Yet I've got to say, to me, a lot of that was won in the pick and ban phase. As we've said before, you're leaving Human Torch to Doom, all right? You're leaving Loki to Nuck. There's so much on the table for that team to work with. And yes, you're getting rid of things like the Hulk, right? But they can play more than Namor, as you can see there. Envy, you guys are full of some of the most talent in the league. This is to punch your ticket to China. Can they put that talent together, make something special? They came into this, Vicky, as a team that swept all these teams. They were like 6-0, but that was the small leagues. This is the big leagues. Can they get it done?
Yeah, and they did pretty good in the group stage too before they had lost over to FlyQuest. Well, Ego Death, of course, we saw that happen, but when they lost against FlyQuest, it was rather close, and then they tried to make some changes going into the playoffs, and then guess what happened? They fall again in that very first match versus Sentinels, the team that we just saw just take it against 100 Thieves. Now, with the redemption arc, though, losing out on that first map, Shroud X have been on a tear. This is a team that we know has a lot of talented individuals. They made their own run before they had lost to Team Nemesis in the group stage, but then had proceeded to go forward to take on Team Nemesis again. They did lose out, and they wanted this redemption arc. As we get started, no more Emma Frost.
Yeah, again, been saying since the beginning what talent's on this team, and it's just not what throwing it, right? And it almost happened. It happened on the group stage, but my goodness, they put the foot down, said no this time around. Speeder getting that Torch ban yet again. They're getting the save there on Magneto. Emma not going to be a factor either. Right now, it's the same story.
All right, taking out the Wolverine off the table. Hopefully that kind of applies to Cal. No, I'm joking, because the way that Cal was just denied off that Wolverine, man, it was tough. But they know that Shroud X, Doomed specifically, man, and the flexibility from Vision, it's a scary case. And they recognize with respect that Dogman is a whole problem, and they target ban the Doctor Strange.
What a full story arc for Dongman. I'm so pumped for the guy. Like, you know, at one point group stage, we're joking, saying whiff Nito, whatnot, right? Now he's getting target banned from one of the best teams in the nation. Love to see it here. And they also respect the triple res. And what does that leave open, Vicky? It leaves open the Torch. It leaves open them to do whatever they want. Probably not the Hulk and Namor, but they can go to it if they need to. Save on Punisher. That's going to be big. I think they realize they're going to need that moving forward here. Funny enough, last match, they did not have access to that. So that's going to open things up.
Yeah, and we did see the Ditto matchup within the Storm actually coming out here too. But I actually believe here on the last ban that we had, yeah, they didn't. Yeah,
it did have access to Punisher. I'm actually looking. It was the team to reverse swap there at the top, looking back. So they actually had access, I believe. Did they not have access?
Envy had it banned against them, so that's why they protected this time around. Who had access to the Punisher actually was Shroud X, which is why I brought it up, because Speedery always going on that storm, but like obviously that's what they used, right? They pushed in Judgment in hand, and they were able to have a lot of control before they even made their own swaps together with the Fate of Both Worlds to just enable those ultimates.
We've got Cal with the big guns, no longer shooting thorns, shooting bullets as we find ourselves yet again on Yggdrasil's path. This map can often tell the tale of a story, and if it's going to hit 2-0 for Shroud X, or can Envy make this an even fight? And hey, let's go ahead and take this into the early AM.
Time to give them all your energy. Shout out to you guys at home as your predictions come in. The Shroud X fans, they're out and about. I know Shroud got front row seat tickets watching on his own stream. Got to consider what you're going to be putting on them jerseys, because you're 2 games away from meeting yourself back in China as we get started for game number 2.
Wow, love to see it again. The Shroud spectator curse, it could live on. He's watching, going back and forth, scared to probably watch his team punch their chicken. Dogman, you could just tell the confidence in what he's feeling right there. Hood on, game on, and flame on for the Doomed as the push goes through.
The Punisher v Punisher matchup too, while Speedery takes the skies and Doomed on the different flyer, on the torch that you mentioned too. And with Impunity and Window, it's the 1v1 on these Groots, where you know Impunity really shines being that Groot specialist.
Yeah, seeing Window and Impunity go at it is a lot of fun. Little tree violence here. And Nero, gotta say, Luna, always 70% accuracy. Incredible things they can do. But Vision shutting down Speedery, and that is the win con for that team. Vision getting the job done. Doom staying alive here as Nuck has the ult ready to go already to keep the team alive. Fidel can follow, and that is a massive start on defense for Shroud.
And Monk too, at least to try to keep Envy alive while Nero's falling just a little bit behind her. The damage output finds Window going down in the next engagement. Will have that Groot ultimate going next, and Cal with that final judgment, combine that with Nero being on that Luna, so having the Fate of Both Worlds just to push up here if they need that extra space. But Shroud X have answers themselves.
These teams are almost mirror match. You got a difference in Loki and Invis, and the big difference is you got the torch that can ignite the fire within, as now the Hurricane goes down, opens up, looking for some, but has to get out of there and running from Vision and the bullets.
Wow, the conditioning right now, the mind games too. When you have the invisible barrier though, you can't see right through it. You can only spray and pray. Cal being able to find Doom still in the sky, and he's also still holding on to their own final judgment.
Yeah, they've got everything they need here to put the connections together here now, as Groot has the entangle and prison from Window, but the grand finale pops up for Nuck as they're keeping things going. And right now, momentum is being pushed to the limits as Window trying to keep his team alive, sustained as they heal up, push in, Vicky.
Up the Wombo combo. Here comes a meteor to try to delete that, but the protection off the Magneto bubble keeps Cal alive. Together with that and Nero, they keep Cal up. They keep this final judgment up, and Vision and Darkwind, they fall down. Envy had saved everything to bait out those ultimates out of Shroud X, knowing that they did not have any of those strategist ults to keep them up.
Yeah, not only do they get the bounce off the rim there for the mag ult, but also they can't use it to defend what's going to be Cal's final judgment. So that's always rough, and definitely want that one back. Now they've got 3 minutes, 58 seconds right now. If you're Envy, you're playing the game that you want to play. Shroud X far from some strat ults, but they do have Vision around the corner with the group.
Be able to try to stake them in the group hug at the very least, but they're going to wait a little bit for Fidel to have that Fate of Both Worlds. You'd rather be safe than sorry at this point, because Envy also have ultimates ready to go to try to counter that. The Omega Hurricane, as if they look behind, this could be the one ultimate to try to melt down Speedery, but with the invisible barrier from Monk, they're going to be able to fight inside this close quarter fight. Fidel, too, to enable Vision. Everybody grouped up together, this time from Window as he sets up the group walls. Difficult as they're going to try to peel away. Nook, though, at least has that Loki ult, the God of Mischief, to try to re-engage.
Deadly Dance, Frank Castle right in the beat there with Luna. Great job from Fidel and Vision to get at least a little bit of stagger there from the team. Dogman's got that Meteor in. Cal's getting close to the final judgment. We'll see if they line that up now. Doomed has the ult going down, and we got Kaluz to counter. Throws down the Meteor and gets the connection and then the slam dunk. 1-2 go down.
It was looking in every direction, though, to find that target and still found its mark. And with Month going down, by the way, that's huge because you were about to have that invisible barrier up, but it's fine. Nero's right here alongside with Cal, and they don't even need to expend that because they are dropping like flies together between Cal and Speedery. They're upset after the last map.
Yeah, they had the Dogman ult there if they needed, but chose to, obviously, with how they opened up. Tough look there, but Impunity now with the imprisonment that they can follow up with this a little bit here. Nero, though, having that dance floor Month with the invisible balance, they're going to have to go through a lot of sustain to get this Dogman. He's hit these ults before. He needs to switch the net as the Meteor connects. Can he get it done?
There you go, the slam dunk, looking to see if it can find its mark onto the Luna, but instead you get the bait out and you find Speedery. You think you want to go for the Nero and the dance off, but Month 2 with the invisible barrier. That's 2 strategist ults, by the way, that was used up basically simultaneously as Envy now with only Kalu's and that Meteor just trying to see if they can get these wall picks and neutral after they found Doomed.
Yeah, they treat tick for tack on the duels there, but both the strategist ults coming out is going to be major here. Now as Vision hits the bubble and the bullets as he's blowing down Kalu, and he follows with Cal, and he's pushing the aggression forward, and it goes to Window. He gets a 3-piece.
Man, playing judge, jury, and coming in to just add in the extra punishment, backing away, holding them back. Now you got a minute, less than 25 seconds on the clock, and Nook and Fidel have everything to cycle through these ultimates for 24 seconds of invincibility.
Yo, he yelled judge, jury, execution in the enemy team. They cut all 3. As 3 went down, now they have to look to reconnect. Both judges ults up and ready. Envy a mile away from it. Kalush, though, you know how huge he can be for this team. Speedery opening up the skies, throwing down the storm. Is it going to be sunny skies, or is it the Cat 5? As he throws it down, the show goes up, Nut goes down, but the trade happens.
Yeah, this is what they wanted. They wanted to force out that support ultimate from Fidel. So Forcey used this up while Doomed has the Supernova instead. Nice block off of the Meteor. Kalush forced it back away. Now it's Window's turn with the group hug on the crew. Oh, look at the damage output together with these walls. Dogman!
Oh my God.
Point blank said not today, Cal. Put that judgment away. Put the Punisher. The only buddy who's playing judge or jury is Dogman here on this Magneto, which is pretty ironic, actually, as the dance-off comes in. Fate of both worlds. Nero trying to keep Envy alive because they have less than 20 seconds now on the clock.
And not only that, the wall there was insane placement from Impunity to keep the team alive through what was about to be the finish line with the Window throwing it down. Speedery, he knows what he needs to do if this team has any shot to go the distance here. Final judgment. Here goes Vision. The 2020's activated. Can he get the E-Limb? Speedery trades Impunity down. That's a massive pick early, Vicky, as they move forward. They've got nothing in ults outside of this. It looks like overtime is going to be pushed into point 3 unless something can happen here. They do have plenty, though, to try to touch.
And Speedery's just getting away with murder. Found 2 picks already onto Impunity. I believe it was Vision next right afterwards, too, and gets another one on top of it all. And they didn't really have those ultimates to work off to stay alive after Month had used that invisible barrier. And more as they fall. Speedery with the dream alive together with Cal, they take this point as we do get a quick pause, but we did get to see the ultimate economy a little bit from Envy. They have some extra time, and they will have some ultimates to clear that next corner.
We'll pause for silence there as Captain America unfortunately says he could do it all day, but no, it was the swift in from Impunity there, trying to stall guys as we have a technical pause, and my gosh, just absolute chaos erupting. Envy living up to the second point of the map there, Vicky. I mean, talk about waiting for the final finish there. What do you think is going to happen as we push into this final bit of the point? Yeah, a little early prediction. Do you think they make it?
I feel like with the way that Speedery is getting uncontested, it's great, but I don't know how I feel about Flyers for this third point once you get through that choke by the 2 walls, because yeah, there is a ceiling there. There is a lot of room to try to get out of the line of sight, but when you have to deal with Punisher and that judgment, and let's say the terrain's already gone, it could be hard to try to find your way back, especially with the storm versus like the torch instead, which they can't really rock. So I feel like we're gonna still see the storm, but maybe would not be surprised if we maybe see a change at the very end if they get held.
Yeah, the Vanguard play of just protecting them from these massive casualties that can happen. As it feels like we're on a YouTube bliss break. They do those in between like big time shows, right? As we gaze upon Asgard here. But it feels like Cal feeling a lot more natural there on Punisher, at least being able to put constant pressure down and at the very least break down those walls, you know, and provide that help for the team. Speedery, though, they have found his number and got those early picks often. As they head into this cavern, though, that's going to close down a lot of those strats.
Yeah, you know, aside from the caverns too, being able to hold on to that Loki ult at the very least, because yes, Fidel was forced to use that Luna Snow ult when the Omega Hurricane hit, but then rotating that together with Loki, yes, you cause Nook to go down, but that's kind of what you do with these Omega Hurricanes. You get overzealous and you purposely push all the way forward because you're trying to take away more of that utility to then enable who is that MVP there, which in this case ends up being the Punisher to move up. You enable Cal together without having to expend any more of those support ults as we dive right back into the game.
Yeah, the technical pause is over, and we resume now with only 1 minute and 13 seconds left. That is less than the pause that we just took to head into this thing. Fidel, Doomed, and Dogman to get you up are ready to lock and load. They got 4 out of 6, 3 out of 6 on the other side. Cal close to it. The skies open up yet again for Storm, unable to connect so far. Going in with the Hurricane. Sunny skies yet again, though, as Kalush slams up, slams down. The protection happens in the dance.
Off on top of the wall. I mean, they delete it right there here, but the group hog right afterwards, as now it's Dogman's turn. Slams against the side of the wall right there, going a little too far, and now Cal gets enabled here with that final judgment without expending any of the support ults because you have the safety of that shield from Kalush. And then you retaliate if you're looking at Shroud X. Impunity, though, gets caught in the crossfire against Cal, even after using that group ult, and this forces Vision Impunity back.
Yeah, name is Vision, but he's shooting blind there into the invisible boundary. They only had a minute to do so, and they can get this whole point pushed all the way as there's no more ults for Shroud X. And an absolute heroic effort here from Envy. Backs against the wall. One wall on one point, turned on the other as they're pushing towards it. And at this point, oh my gosh, absolute chaos unfolding here.
He's still able to ignore him for like a brief amount of time because they have to try to contest now that overtime is taking away. Kalush finds Dogman, really big pick. Dogman was slowly approaching that meteor too. Speedery with the Omega Hurricane tries to clear the point with 2 picks. They don't get there on time, even with Doom being on that Iron Fist getting so close to the point.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're unable to get the touch and the pressure. I mean, they've got to escape one thing, and that Hurricane's just putting on so much continuous damage. I can't say enough. Envy, it looked like they were down and out. You know, we've said it, the Envy's looking empty. We've said it before here on Cast. But to come out of that break with 1 minute and 14, I don't know what kind of pep talk they had over a course of a minute, but whatever it was, it worked.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes off of those technical pauses, sometimes a player DCs and they can cut a bit of momentum, but that was not it here at that point. Like, Envy just still kept clearing the next 2 fights after that. They still allowed Cal to get set up on that turret. They made some desperate swaps if you're thinking about Shroud X with that Iron Fist, and it was just stopped. It didn't really do much here aside from splitting a good amount of that pressure.
Wow, just a stun. I mean, we know we were going to see everybody give it their all here to make it to the historic lands. Both teams want to do so badly. I know in their interviews, Cali plays it calm, cool, collected. They want it. They want to get there here as we look at the stats, Vic. And I mean, it tells the story pretty well. It tells the story of what we've seen. Yes, you got Vision doing his thing, but honestly, 25k damage is impressive, but only 4 elims from that. It feels like those final judgments at the end were not connected.
It's hard when Speedery, or rather currently Nero and Month, the way that we saw them just keep sustaining the other side makes it hard for that final judgment to get anything. That's why we keep saying just the play of mental games on how you want to rotate through these different support ultimates, or even just not expend it and just hide behind the Magneto shield instead.
As they push in here, Dogman and go. Shroud X look to push this cart to the finish line as now we've got ults building up, pressure going on him. Just perfect display of group effort here as it's Guardian of the Galaxy violence on violence as Kalush pushing forward, trying to get the early pick and poke. And look at the trade, the Magneto going into the Lantern, though. That's the difference, the Loki difference the God of Mischief can do on his home court of Asgard.
When you don't have that Loki available, though, that was banned against Envy, and they don't have another taste of that themselves. That's why they've been rocking this Cloak and Dagger and the Luna, or the Invisible Woman here sometimes too. But you combine that now with the Ultron, and now Shroud X get this clearance on the next corner.
Yeah, the 0 to 100 health difference that it can make with ease here. And I play a lot of Loki myself, one of my most played heroes, and this map just so good for clone placement and tactical play as Impunity Now, just taking the bullets from Cal over and over. Speedery does have that extermination online to put the pressure on, pushing it forward here. They have every answer back to it. Executioner coming out, but Nuck keeping the team alive. And now we've got the final judgment from Shroud X, and Vision does connect this time and finds window.
I'm in danger. Speedery just floating away after using the extermination. Dogman tries to get the dunk, misses this time around, breaks his neck, looking all the way down at the Punisher, which would have been a huge pick as Cal unleashes the final judgment. Vision looking back, but this buys a lot of time for Envy to get reset up on this defense.
And again, Dongmin, I love the aggressiveness, but I'd like to see that ult be used defensively too. I mean, we have not seen a lot of that against the Punisher ult, and it's just such a great way to be able to throw all those bullets right back to the face, the Master of Metal, right? But instead not. Now we have Doomed with the Hurricane up. We'll see if Envy brought their umbrellas. Here comes the rain.
Category 5 here on the back line, though, just continuously keeps harassing here the support, and it's that final hit with the follow-up of Impunity. Knew the assignment as Doomed takes apart that back line. Shroud X now only leaving window to stall for as long as possible.
All right, here, nice job and cap of Shroud X. They got minute 32. Now let's go ahead and push that up to 4 minutes, about even, Vicky, where Envy took over at this point in time. Vision has that final judgment. They can rock and roll with Nuck around the corner here. And to respond, Vicky, Month does have the invisible boundary. It's done the job so far. It's got to farm it up quick.
Doing it little by little here, at least with Misspoke Pressure, you will be able to have it online. Shroud X have so much more, though, in the bank to work with. Here comes the Chaos, the God of Mischief from Nuck. So maybe to get the copy here instead. And Vision inside of this final judgment. They got the copy off of Month on the other side here, too, to keep everybody alive. The dance-off, too, as they try to back away. And the Omega Hurricane from Speedery gets answered back. It is Fidel with the fate of both worlds after Nook gets booted off from that Luna Snow here. And backing away, it was just a one single standoff, and Envy still have 2 ultimates, and Nero is approaching that fate of both worlds.
They've done a good job so far controlling Mother Nature and Speedery and what they can do there with the Omega Hurricane. But again, it forces so much other things outside of eliminations, cooldowns and more, as now pushing in window, throws down the Groot ult. Cal with the final judgment. There's the response with the defense, but it does not connect. And instead of Speedery trading there with Mag, both Vanguards down and out, and Envy going full W.
Yeah, they're going to want to get rid of that storm, probably, and then maybe try to deal with the torch. The way that we're currently seeing Speedery, as Doomed has that Omega Hurricane now, it's just been on fire. Combine that with the pressure from Cal on this Punisher, so much damage output from the ground, and then you have to look to the skies for Speedery, who's also about to get that Omega Hurricane quickly.
Yeah, we'll see if they do the strat here that they've done where Doom tries to get ults out, right? Here comes the strategist ults potentially from Nero or Month, and then they use Vision's final judgment to clear it up. There's the disappear, but you do. Okay, yeah, I mean, that was a fast answer there. I guess they got one of the ults out.
And Cal recognizing to go back to the rest of the team. Great communication because he already used up that turret, so you could iframe it here as Vision now comes up with the final judgment instead, together with Nook in the copy of the fate of both worlds. They get the 3K here. The wipe before he turns around. Cal is not going down without a fight.
4 on the point. He must put eye drops in on the break. Vision now connecting on these final judgments. It's going to be tough, though. They're going to be, oh, nice group wall there. Good pressure. Here comes the Omega Hurricane. It's going to be so close, millimeters away. Can they get it all the way? It's 3.66 M as we've got meters going up. It's Mother Nature at its finest, and oh my wipe!
I will always win that. Window! And that big meteor from Kalush finding Fidel in the middle of that fate of both worlds was lethal. Now you have a minute, now less than 15 seconds to even get to the second checkpoint for Shroud X.
Dude, a bouquet of eliminations, like just putting them all together. Insanity there as we have Doom now switching over to Hella. Dogman up with the Meteor aim, ready to rock. We got a minute left, guys. Again, you thought this would be a 2-0. Think again. Envy trying to make this thing even here. 54 seconds, pressure on. Dogman can't connect. Oftentimes, it comes down to this man hitting his ults. They got rid of Strange. Now it's time to do the same on Meteor.
Been lacking just a little bit, though, on these meteors here. Dogman knows it can do it, getting a little close, giving it that impression of being a lot more aggressive. And the copy here from Nook is going to try to set them up if you can here, but they have to wait, try to force this out, as Cal also has that judgment. Doom flying around here, being on the Hella, but after losing out on impunity, it's one more re-engagement from Shroud X.
This is going to be so tough for Shroud X. Month has their straddle. Nero's close. Fidel still 30% away. They've got a lot of offense, but the defense is lacking here. 13 seconds left. Don't know why they had the pushback there. They had to use the Luna ult. This could spell danger for them. And a loss as Dogman's going up to initiate. We've got the group going down, throwing down. No connection, but Vision does get a pick. Make it 2. Can he do 3? Yes, sir. Make it 4. Potential as he pushes through. Yes, he's the 5th. Holy team one.
And that's without having to expend those support ultimates, because Shroud X using that Loki ultimate could have literally been their lost condition here, with Envy having so many answers. Vision clearing the way, making everybody see clearly now as they get this checkpoint off of that insane final judgment.
They're addicted. They're addicted to last-minute pushing. I can't. It kills me, but they love it. They thrive off it. Vision with the 4-piece and the team wipe to follow. Incredible. They have a minute left. Now Envy had the exact same amount of time. They got it done. Can they match?
Crazy how they're always late to the party, but they always show up no matter what, and that's what counts here when you want to be reliable. Doom does have that Hella ultimate, though. Could force out some ultimates from the other side of Envy, as they do have Nero with the fate of both worlds. Month slowly approaching the invisible boundary as Vision's just trying to delete these brute walls.
Yep, this is going to come down to the one big ultimate team fight here. Infinity War happening right before your eyes. We've got the Omega Hurricane opening up, raining down. Kaluz getting Vision out, the big threat early in the fight. Kaluz going up with the meteor, slamming down. The Spaceball special does not connect, as Doom now is going to go up the top, try to find a flank angle. Dogwing being pushed back. 30 seconds left, Vicky. They've got enough impunity ready to lock and load.
But the way that Doom tried to get that plan out just to try to force these ultimates out of Envy, he didn't force it out. Instead, now we get this raw meteor over the backline, and it still finds Mon. Are you kidding me? The opened up now with Vision and this judgment here, just forcing everyone back with a huge LeBron.
They used everything, though. They emptied the tank. Look, Envy's got everything they need. And yes, they can set up and try to not let them out this point. But if they give them even an inch, they're going to take the mile left. They've got 3 on the point, trying to put the pressure on now. They've got every ult to use. They got this is going to be near impossible with Nero. Month to follow. They're going to have to win in the neutral with no ults to show for it. A near impossible performance, but they can do impossible. They saw it against Techie. They can do it now. But here we go. We've got Cal and there. Oh, man, the ultimate sweep up.
Yeah, and it's overtime, too. So you still have to just linger on that point, and it's going to be nearly impossible when you have that judgment to worry about. They just clean up whatever is left of Shroud X after the possible contest that we saw. Still staying alive, still stalling, though, for as long as possible, with nobody to touch that point. You mentioned it perfectly, Cozy. The ult economy was the nail in the coffin at the very end.
Had to use everything to get that bit of a point, and they want that back, even if they could have saved one. But Envy shows they're not going down without a fight. Are you not entertained? It's 1-1 here. Envy fans, rejoice. You're in this, baby. Scores down back 0-0 technically.
Still got a chance out here, and it's been entertaining to see these different compositions roll out for these teams working around these bans. As we take a look at the overall scoreboard, the Speedery show when it comes to being on that storm. We saw the swap over at the very end when they were trying to desperately recontest. 10 final hits here. Cal, though, on the Punisher, opened up so many avenues, very similar to Vision on the other side.
Yeah, honestly, Cal went from what was it, 6k damage to 40k?
Yep.
You know, I'm not an expert here, but I think that's the difference. I think that's going to be the difference maker. Yeah, actually looking back, Cal had 5.2k damage, 5 and 4. This time going the opposite, 30 and 8, 40k damage. That's what you want to see alongside Speedery as they get the job done.
When you asked me, you know, what needs to change out here? Speedery too, like on that Psylocke was like 3 and 4, like night and day here. Of course, domination on that first map could get very chaotic, but they were able to handle this great and just recontesting consistently. They held on to those ultimates. That's despite Shroud X having unleashed everything in their own pockets. But I do feel like there was some there's some wasted ults there at the very end. Looking at Shroud X, the way that they had just rotated through that Loki ult too, they got lucky in still being able to take it over to that next checkpoint, but that could really bite you back and later on in the series.
Yeah, so what they did there is they used Fidel to survive the hurricane in the back line. Doom went up behind them and is throwing thorns down as Kalush sucked those up. Then they were only left with Nuck and Impunity, and then Vision was building his up as they all tried to push forward on the cart, and they used it all. Dogman had an ult in there as well, and Dogman opened up with the Meteor and tried to throw it back. He did get that connection there on Month in the back line, but at that point, then Nuck and Vision had to combine their ults to get the rest of the push, and everything was used.
That was beautiful. Just cycling through that as we take a look at our MVP, Speedery. We've talked to him before and highlighting what he's done with the 30 KOs, 19 final hits. Speedery was together here with Cal, and the way that they both were just cycling through not only their ultimates, but it was a lot of forced backline ultimates that was put into place to enable one another.
Yeah, I could have said it better myself. Again, we saw when this team had their backs against the wall in the group stage, what they did is they just pocketed Speedery and tried to do everything they could with one of the best in the game in the duelist position. But on the opposition, Shroud X, they're not going down easy either. It's a 1-to-1 right now, guys. An absolute crazy fight. And listen, I don't know, that technical pause helped them get a lot of momentum back. They had the raw speech there as we took our bliss break. But yeah, this is going to be a close one now. Shroud X gets to pick the map.
Yeah, these meteors, they were just hitting on these ghosts, I guess. They weren't finding its mark, honestly, even though the survivability was there from Fidel and the healing output from Nook was fantastic too. But those were game-winning moments into landing these ultimates. We did see at the very end, just like yeeting that one meteor onto Month, which was insane. But to use everything before you get to the very end, that's what stalled them just a little bit as we go into a tied series.
All night long, as you've been saying. I picked the wrong day to wear a suit, Vicky. I mean, at this point, we got 8-9 hours. I gotta go put a tank top on. I went surfing this morning too. We got a long one. I had the wrong decisions made today as I've been amped up for hours here. Shroud X, all with the cause of it, guys. Don't go anywhere. We've got a great matchup coming up. As you know, map number 3. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna see you guys in just a second. Vicky, I think Luna Snow said it best. We're fighting for our destiny and our fate. I mean, we've heard that song a lot, but how fitting between these two teams fighting for legacy and their ticket to China and land. You heard it before. We're going to hear it until we can book it. And Shroud X, Envy, it's 1-1 right now, Vicky. This is looking good.
It's the path to glory right now for both these teams. Tied the series, and you know what they say, Cozy? Nothing good ever happens past 2 a.m. Except for one of these teams, at the very least, going into map number 3 and seeing how that's going to shape up. We had a very similar situation, although Shroud X, they were down 0-2 at this point in their last series, but they did the reversal, and guess where it started? It started on this upcoming map that we're moving on to next.
Absolutely, and you bring up a great point at 2 a.m. Yeah, we're casting it late into the night. You guys are watching late into the night, but imagine playing for this kind of money, stakes, into this late of the night. It's crazy, but you know what they say? These are gamers. They fuel themselves at the late peak hours, the gamer hours, the witching hour.
Man, this is how you actually get most of your points. Usually, you know, you can give it the 3-game rules. I always say if you lose 3 in a row, you gotta hop off. But usually, you get your high moments in finding that success as the double Emma Frost is once again off the table.
Where wins become losses and losses become wins. You're right. This is where they flip the tide on Techie here. So they already had a warm-up map, but Envy, they used their warm-up on that Dom, and Gal, he needed every second of it as he flipped the script back. This team is fully loaded. I cannot tell you guys enough. Shroud X coming off that win, insane, that momentum, but Envy is one of the biggest bad guys to go up against here. As we look at the pick bans, they're the exact same so far. Vicky, do we see any changes?
Oh, they said no more of that Wolverine. I mean, something else that really helped Envy is just putting a lot of that focus into boosting up Cal being on that Punisher, while the Loki ban being hovered over, and then the Mantis ban, no res comp. Both of these teams ready on what they want to pull the trigger on.
Yeah, the triple res comp is way too good on this map. This map's already hard enough to get that first cap. trying to get it done twice. That is just, it's a task that not a lot of teams or anyone can do here. As now we've got the Loki save. Nuck getting Loki. That's a big one there. Definitely going to help them out as we get the Hulk ban, and that is because we did see Namor and that Moby Dick of the century come down on this exact map.
They did their homework. That's literally what changed everything. Together with the Hulk and the Namor, right after you get the payload moving, was a big change up in Shroud X's momentum. And I like how you highlighted just saving on that Loki, because Nook had so much output with healing at 78k as the safety goes over to the Doctor Strange in favor for Envy.
Yeah, like that. Doctor Strange, it just like the res comp is so important now. They didn't get the Strange ban this time, and you would think they would after just how perfect that was for them. And Cal is not going to be able to play Punisher. So at this point in time, a lot of change-ups.
I believe both teams had Doctor Strange banned, so now trying to enable, you know, those Vanguard strengths even better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, having both Kalush and Dogman, some of the best at it, getting the Strange back, and it made it entertaining because the portal backs and stuff. You had to win the fight right there, right now. We saw that happen, right, with Shroud X at the end. They had no way to get back to the point fast enough here. As we push ourselves into greatness, the land of Vibranium, Wakanda. It's going to decide map number 3 for one of these teams with all the momentum on their side, going up 2 in the series to get their land history made.
Let's get this started right now. It's been a pretty crazy battle to see both these teams running very similar compositions to Mata in terms of timing on those ultimates, but the chat has spoken and they have 65% in favor for Shroud X.
Wow, here we go, guys. Teams are locked, they're ready, they are amped up, and the adrenaline that's been going through Shroud X's veins now for the course of hours has been insanity. Now Window with the callouts quickly here as he's going. He's got himself Venom. Window, we talk about all the time. His flexibility in the tank role is very impressive. One of the best things about him.
Literally could do the fastball special, Groot, Mag, Venom, even, you know, seen a little bit of a look at the Jeff. You say it, you can name it, he'll pull up with it, as we still see MV rolling up with the triple support, and that's when you don't ban that Mantis too. MV trying to play into those strengths. Nice way to just hide away while a lot of this poke pressure is coming out to build into these ultimates.
All right, we have Kalush pushing forward here. Defense is up. Lanterns are out now. And right now, really, the momentum is all for Shroud X as they do a good defensive effort. The Window trying to look to change that, dive that backline. Nero so lethal on Ultron, and the villain that he is, Kalush, too, does not know how to back off. He's going full aggro as Month gets the job and finishes impunity. That's a big pick, although Cap can make it back to the point pretty quick.
Nero also having that extermination just to keep them alive. If the recontest happens, they're going to just stall for as long as possible. Nook's about to have that Loki ult flying to the skies, though. It's going to be Dogman here as he tries to cut them off. Nero being able to find Nook is going to be big as Shroud X now trying to re-engage. Nobody left, though, on the point as Envy get to walk it for free.
Yeah, it's a tough call, right? Because as Dogman, you're the one on the point, keeping it stalled, but you have to protect your team as Strange, right? Put the shield up on Nero. So had to make that decision, left it available, and that was an easy push for Envy.
And they have 3 ultimates too with the, I mean, actually they have everybody's ultimate online. All right, Window, just giving it a little shake real quick, being on that Venom, waiting to pounce right on time, maybe trying to force out some of those backline supports because the Fidel and Nook both have those ultimates online, and Doomed finding Speedery even bigger. No Dance of the Butterflies here to start the engagement.
Yeah, gonna have to get staggers just like that with 4 minutes on the clock. Shroud X2 ult economy was not a good way. They ended it on the last one. They're gonna have to use every last drop of these first check marks there below the name. Both teams fully stacked, fully ready for a major fight.
I don't know. Look, the fact that Vision's just floating right underneath Window. Jump scare time here. Find the backline, but of course, you have a Loki. You force out the Lanterns, which is even better, though. And this is the green light. Speedery with the Dance of Butterflies. Doomed to try to answer back. Jumps right over the room with the stun. Coming in even bigger. Impunity does get rid of Cal, though, after that stun. And now we get to group everybody together. Group hug. No Mantis ult to keep everybody in. And Month had just used the fate of both worlds.
What? That could have been a lot more deadly if that stun didn't happen. Insane job, and honestly impressive of Shroud X able to still get that win on that, because it was really all Envy there momentum wise as that started. But we have Nuck now. They used a lot. Both teams did at that. Cal does have that ult ready. Nero can follow, and at this point Nuck though fresh out of the ult.
Used a lot, even if it was interrupted for the Doctor Strange. Cal and Nero are going to be able to move up in speedery and to get into position for the dance of butterflies here and force that out. At least the lanterns, which is going to be very important, as Nero's going to be the first one to start engaging here on this backline together with Window trying to harass them. They put down a good amount of that pressure here, forcing them back to clear up the space.
Yeah, and one thing with the Mantis, now you might question why Mantis without the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's that damage boost. It's just so insane, and you can just make your best players carry the way that they can, both healing and damage-wise. As we have Doom going off with the Silex slash and dash, we've been calling it the dance execution, and he does get the pick on Cal to get things started.
Said slicing. It looks like a cheese grater. Oh my god, Doomed right now just has Nero's head on a stake, and then followed up with Monk. That's 2 supports. Can we make it 3 here? Cal coming right back over as Vision also follows up after the extermination, and they didn't really have to expend too much. Fidel is going to be able to come right back in with the fate of both worlds, as well as Impunity and Dogman.
That crazy trade there, because Doom had no health. I don't know how he flipped so quick on Speedery. That was insane, but as we've seen, it's click, click, boom with Psylocke able to get the combos done so quickly. 4 minutes on the clock, chopped down to 2. What a valiant effort.
Window got caught out. They finally caught him out. Now you see me, now you don't. He's still committed, by the way, jumping right in. He's gonna be forced to pop that. Yeah, he's completely done. He already used the web. He used the armor at that point. They deleted him, stopped any sort of downtime. But really, the goal was just to force out the lamps.
Yeah, eating all the bullets, but unfortunately also the grave there. Here, Cal going over with the wolves to slice and dice, and Pewdie's been doing such a great job here, so that's going to go to finish that at that point. We've got ults ready. The Agamotto, can they get the stun off again? There's no chance now. Month with the dance floor to at least counter one of the onslaughts. It's going to come down to the pick.
With a significant change, though, looking at Envy, Window now being over to the Groot, having that chance. That's why they kind of went back on those ultimates, as Impunity brings everyone together. Great wall set up by Window, as Monk being on that Luna Snow to match this dance off here. Ultra with the fate of both worlds. The Eye of Agamotto jumps in, does find Window, but the reset on the health, as Window will be able to have the Groot ult to bring everyone together. The wall comes back up. It founds 3 here, a freeze onto Dogman. It's Chain CC with these AoEs here, following up as Cal finds Impunity. Dogman goes out next. Double Vanguard out from Shroud X as Envy hold forward.
Every ability used, ult after ult. The Limb Feed could barely keep up with it. Both of them dropping it, but it was Envy who decisively took it as Speedery is pushed all the way into this spawn.
Man, making these changes at the right time. This is how you have to be aware, you know, when you feel like it's not working, you don't have to stick to your guns. You got to make some swaps, and that's what we saw even with Window being sneaky on that Venom earlier. Dude now moving up on that torch. Talk about some change-ups here. Fidel and Nook still in the backline. Now the Loki and that Luna Snow, while they continue to keep trying to pressure out Doomed over to the side.
Yeah, forget tickets in China. They booked tickets straight to the Shadow Realm there as they're pushing in. Window now trying to farm up that ult here for that final bit of push. 1 minute 30 seconds left. Shroud X doing a great job on the initial onslaught, but they've got a lot to deal with if you're going to stop this team. But Dogman getting the job done first here, getting rid of Speedery.
Doom jumping right back in to build into that supernova here. Nook with that Loki ult. Impunity with the group hug on the Groot. Strangling Prison looking to try to match that with Window on the other side, and Monk will at least have the fate of both worlds in this next engagement.
Window now trying to get that pressure early. There's 1 minute and 2 seconds left now. Remember, both teams this time around can get some strange on strange happening here. Window pushing forward. Dogman can counter. It's going to come down to 50 seconds. Both teams, this is a big momentum changer. Will they let it slip now as the dance floor drops? Speedery, we know what he can do. He's going to go in with the dance. Trying to get those picks early. On the top, you can see him. He's looking for the elite.
Oh, then looks around, breaking his neck to find here. Are you kidding me? Vision then walks up, and they mop the floor, clean up on aisle 3. Envy needs some help. help, and now you got less than 30 seconds to re-engage with these ultimates.
Yeah, but the same result, different map. They used all their ultimates. They're gonna have the strange portal to go in, and look, Envy has all theirs, and they're not gonna have anything to count. This is the same story, Vicky.
History repeats itself now, jumping into just a different form of another map, though. Looking right behind them to make sure that they're safe. Look who's set up in the back. It's going to be Vision on this Punisher. Cal being on this Wolverine, pushing in with the pathing of the Eternal Bond just to help them out and clearing up this space. But that's going to be the entry point as Snook is slowly approaching that Loki ult. Tries to slice and dice. Window fights off. No, they got off.
I can't. It came down to Nuck if he could live through that and get the ult, and they forgot. Dongman, you can see he's like about to protect his team, looks back. Oh yeah, the objective as Envy decisively cuts through the time, gets 3 points, and shows who they are.
No way when he got up in that moment. No, they're not another Shroud 9.
I can't even process. I mean, you know, Cal lifting them all up in the air, he did push them all back. That was a lot. The Meteor going in to save. The Lanterns were already doing that, though. Nuck then got, I think, within a couple percentage of getting his ult. Could have pushed forward there, stalled, put up another fight. That's a tough one.
Dang. It's a little deflating here, honestly, but gotta go next.
If you're an Envy fan.
Yeah. If you're an Envy fan, you're out here. But I feel like the slow pan from Dogman while he had the Meteor in his hand and then the realization of the screen just slowing down.
Man, so good.
That was literally it caught in 4K. Vision, by the way, has only gone down once. So Vision absolutely on fire, and that was after making some swaps too, right? Because I believe we did see the Ultron at one point, seeing that flexibility while looking on the other side. Envy maybe rolling out with something similar with the triple support.
Now, something we haven't even talked about because we've been so quick to go this match, but this is so huge. Window was on Shroud X way back when during the MRI and the team's announcement when Shroud signed them. Window then, there was all these original members were on Shroud X. There's just sub-ins, and that's what's so cool about this is they're playing former teammates at that as well as the ticket. One teammate gets to go to LAN or teammates, other does not. 0-3 right now is the story. Can Shroud X come back?
I'm so glad you brought that up because it's like an old family reunion, right? Like Gator was the coach for this team before leaving just a few months ago to go to Envy alongside Window. So, you know, having some recognition from the past on both strengths and weaknesses for both these teams, it adds a little spice to this matchup specifically. As you see Doom taking to the skies here, still adding on to some of that ult charge before getting that finishing blow onto Speedery and maybe make it two with Nero literally one shot.
Oh my gosh, like the Matrix. Insane dodging, dip, duck, dive, dodge. What does Pachio Houlihan say? Incredible job there as Doom does get the best of Nero, who was avoiding every bit of those flames. And a perfect cap. Yet even look better than Envy. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to push.
I love getting on the left side right here in these statues, by the way. You just get away with all the damage output, controlling good amount of space here from the skies. Doom's about to get that supernova. Nook with the Loki ult alongside Fidel to have those, 24 seconds of immortality basically to work alongside. Envy, though, and Cal having this Mantis has been fantastic, and you have all triple support ultimates online.
Let's see if they can use better ult economy yet again. That has been their poison now as Nero gets the early pick on Nuck. That's going to open a lot up now. Fidel forced to ult to keep the team alive, but also using the damage boost. And wow, the slam down. They somehow lived through that. Oh my gosh, the switch from color to color was insanity here as Dogman goes up, he goes down. He hasn't gotten a lot of these connections. He misses that one. Unfortunately, on this map, Speedery trying to get the back line, but Vision finds the best of them.
And that was Vision that just melted down that Meteor attempt. Like, did not even give it a chance to leave out of his hands, really. The supernova after a flanking attempt now, as the Eye of Agamotto from Kalush doesn't find its mark. It's blocked off here, now dancing right through the fate of both worlds after forcing that out, and then followed up with Dogman. That's a big pick here, forcing the rest of Envy to back away.
Playing with anger, we've seen this team with the backs far against the wall. The wall was broken, and they came back here as again Doom trying to hunt down Nero. See Speedery up top, and Speedery trying to get something rolling for this team. He can put it on his back often here. Nero, though, execution out, extermination pushing forward, and the team to follow.
Allow them to reclaim the space at the very least. Doom's backing away. Fidel will have the fate of both worlds to just try to negate any of these ultimates that Envy will have coming up on that next rotation, and Impunity to group all of them together together. That may be the wobble combo between Vision, Fidel, and Impunity.
Oh, wow. Dude trying to get the best of Nero, but instead the whole team flips on him, but they forgot about the Punisher. Vision 2020. Does he get the connection? No, but the bubble pops and Window gets nothing from it. Moral victory, but nothing. Oh man, that's rough here, as now they clean up a couple of the scraps and push it all the way to finish the rest.
That's the MVP going to Month, by the way. Like, Month having the fate of both worlds right on cue to deny all those 3 expensive ultimates for that fight away here, as Dupes now tries to make a Hail Mary play with these portals.
I like the 3-minute portal here. It gives them a chance to use it again if they need to at the end. They're going to go in immediately. They've got Nuck to go if they need to get the dance on. Dongmin can get a huge pick on Cal if able to do so here. Pushing in. We've got Doom, who does play a mean Doctor Strange when needed. Extermination being blocked, whipped away. Dongmin getting the pick on Month. That's what you're looking for.
Even bigger here. They get the trade and they lose out on Vision. Now the Mantis Surgeons coming in with the ultimate after they had used the extermination. Month coming back. Shroud X now together, though, don't have aggressive ultimate as Doom with the Eye of Agamotto.
Month is coming back, and it looks like the spawn has flipped. Like, yeah, completely here as the Blues on the defense, but they're on the offense here, pushing forward, teams trading, and at this point, Month, though, somehow slipping through. Speeder going up, going down, the dance and the butterflies go out, trigger for Dell to get it on, and now we've got Window. He's missed a few, connects, does not get anything from it here. Doom's got the Agamotto, gonna be able to do a lot from it. Impunity throwing it out, getting nothing from it. They want that one back, Vic.
It was a beautiful, another freeze, the Eye of Agamotto here, but the stun still comes out, lands on Nook and Impunity. They lose out on the Loki, who was going to have the God of Mischief for the end of that fight for as long as it went. And you talked about it, they split places, now playing Ring Around the Rosie on the other side of the card.
A minute and 20 seconds wiped from the clock instantly. Looking at the ult economy, which has been the story of this matchup so far, it's pretty neck and neck with the big one going. Cal and Month both have their strategist. The defense is going to be stout here. Dongmin, though, outfitting Vicky. It comes down to, can he nail a meteor in?
A lot of pressure to put sometimes on a lot of the with veto plays that we've seen over the course of this playoff, but this is the opportunity. You got a minute, 10 seconds on the clock to try to get to this next checkpoint. You got 3 ultimates, about to be 4 online here too, as Nook gets the copy in the God of Mischief, and we still see this aerial battle between Nero and Doomed.
Nook has that copy still, waiting to use it at the opportune time. He's gonna have to, and then they're gonna have to initiate with that here, and there it is, the grand finale. Can this be their finale as they push in? Doom trying to get some pressure on Nero, though, throwing down on Kalush, making him uncomfortable. Damage boost out. Show up here from Month to put up the slicing dice in the back line. Fidel gonna be forced to use it. Oh my gosh. Okay, before the ults could go out, they're down, but they still have the fight.
And they use that portal at that 3-minute mark here, wondering with this reapproach. They have all these ultimates. They have less than 20 seconds, but Shroud X also having the answer that they need.
Envy didn't use much there, too.
It didn't. Your Envy only had used up those 2 ultimates just to stay alive, and Doom does have that Supernova, Cozy.
All right, guys, it comes down to this, 2-1. It's about to be for one of these teams here. Is it Shroud? Is it Envy here as the Agamotto opens things up? We've got the Executioner from Vision Justice. Wow, getting all 3 of them with the Nero pick to open things up. That's going to be massive now. We've got Gal ulting with Window. Window not connecting. That's massive to open up for Doom. Throwing down the tornadoes, connecting in, getting Cal out, and Cal's going to follow. It's a funeral as they push through this in the overtime. Now, they got to remember, Vicky, don't step off the point.
And got to think about the fire extinguisher to worry about this, because Doomed is literally going into that flanking angle to activate the Supernova to get this checkpoint. We are still alive here. Shroud X, an extra time added to the time bank. A minute now and 20 seconds on the clock.
Ice in the veins. We've seen Shroud X. I mean, they've done it with a pixel left, so of course they're going to do it with way more than that here, and they remember to stay on points. Always good too, as now team pushing in. Doom throwing down, trying to get that pressure early. Only a minute and 5 seconds. Ult economy, Vicky. They've got Nuck. That's about it with Vision they can combine, but the good news is Envy used a lot there too. even more.
They can't use too much here if you're Shroud X. You don't want to have a repetition of what just happened in our basically last 2 series, or rather our last 2 maps here. Speedery forced to back away after utilizing the Dance of Butterflies. Impunity moving forward doesn't have the group hug from the group, but Nook and Fidel will be able to rotate through these ultimates, and now Nook uses it immediately. Fate of both worlds here, rather, on the other side. Monks are trying to match out on the dance-off here, and with Vision having that judgment that can stop the Eye of Agamotto as it gets frozen in the air. Kalush is not able to get away with any of these Agamottos because of Fidel and his freeze.
Massive freeze that has shut things down, and the big difference is Vision and the big guns, as Vision and Doom making a show, but they're gonna have to win one more fight. The difference this time, Vicky: Fidel, Impunity, Doom fully loaded, and Dongmin, how fitting, 98%.
Actually cycling and staggering on these ults. This is where it comes down to everything. Overtime taking away, and look at Doom's positioning already going all the way forward. Now, because of Wolverine, but the Magneto bubble actually saves Dudes.
Incredible job there, but now they've got to worry about the oh, as they throw up. Dogman throws down and does not get the connection there. Window does the same, misses his former team. Fidel's got the dance to keep the team alive. There's not a lot left. Speedery going for the back line. Lantus has been used. Agamotto's loose. That was huge as he capitalizes. A cow cleans up the scraps, and it looks like they're going to be taking this 2-1. Envy over Shroud with 1 game left.
No way they did that with Fidel dancing in the Fatal for the one time that the Eye of Agamotto needed to land. It lands on like 4 or 5 of the members of Shroud X, while you have your Luna moving up with the Fate of both worlds. Talk about using it at the very end, Kalush.
Just a game of freeze tag the whole time, and then when it's needed, it's Strange who absolutely freezes everybody in place to clean it up. As we look at the stats here and across the board, it's like, oh man, Shroud X, they played well there, but you can't stop the talent on Envy's side. Again, it's these Vanguards. Look at it. It's like mirror stats: 26-6, 27-7, 6 final hits, 30k damage a pop. These 2 guys, they don't get enough credit on Envy.
Yeah, it was so close. Even looking on the other side too, like you have 11 final hits, 12 final hits if you're both Doomed and Vision. Doomed was creating so much space on this torch, moving all the way up, trying to harass them in their spawn room doors, especially when you play Ring Around the Rosie at that specific spawn around those corridors, and then creating that space when you had nothing originally. You have used up all your ultimates. They started cycling through it a lot better, but that Eye of Agamotto was a nail in the coffin in favor for Envy.
And from zero to Nero to hero, this guy, 25k damage on the Ultron, always just taking people's attention up, always putting pressure out and coming up clutch. Just an insane job from every role here, and Speedery just cleaning up. It was one or the other here. The quick swap to Wolf on the final point there, playing Mantis the whole time. That was also just great, quick game plans and adjustments.
And Cal had gotten like 2 ultimate interruptions, I believe. We saw at the very end, it was very brief, but I believe actually Nook in the middle of the Loki ult activation got stunned by Mantis, as well as what we had seen from, I believe it was Dogman, when Dogman was on that Strange. So 2 very big impactful moments there for Envy, specifically when they were on that Mantis pick. And you talk about damage output, Nero with a 25k, Cal with those swaps over with a 24k. So they were all in unison, rotating through those ultimates.
And look where the point is right there. If they didn't use everything at once, perhaps they could have, held it right before then. And it really came down to the strategist ult being used whenever Shroud X on defense. They want that one back. Again, there's your Nero, your Zero, your hero. Incredible Hercules. Man, I can't even speak. This guy's he makes me speechless here, Vicky.
Not surprised, especially with how far we're going right now in this series. Envy, they lost out on that very first map, now turning things around way in their favor. It was Hell's Heaven where they met their demise, but going forward, man, map 2, map 3, it's in the bag for Envy. And I feel like the #1 key thing, I have to reiterate, because it was something that we highlighted at the end of map number 2, the way that the ult rotations here for Shroud X has caused them to lose fights that they otherwise would win, truly. But when you have no support ultimate to deal with an onslaught of damage, whether it be from that final judgment or even taken to the skies, like it's difficult to stay alive. You're just playing in the straight neutral.
Yeah, and I mean, first of all, too, I want to highlight Cal getting that kidnap insane there, forcing Bubbles out. But yeah, I mean, Speeder, all he had to do is use his ult to stop that one fight. They had all their ults ready. They didn't have to do a lot, and that was the big difference often. It felt like all they needed to do is drop the beat in the vision, but oftentimes everything followed with it, and it was a definitely rough. They want that one back, but hey, listen, it's 2-1, and for some reason, this is Shroud's X comfort zone. This is where they want to be, right, guys? And this is where you want to be. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to go to match number 4 right after this break. Envy can punch their ticket to China. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It might be late, but I'm gassed because we have a fire matchup here going into match 4. And again, the modes, the maps, they reset. We've been with you now for 3 weeks strong, Vicky, and it comes down to one team punching their last ticket. This is the last team to qualify. Atlanta.
I'm not surprised that it's going the distance, okay? Because when you have some of the best teams in the world competing here, specifically though in Americas, in the playoffs, this is the result that you get. We are going the distance. It's 2:30 in the morning here on the East Coast, and Envy, with a turnaround, have taken map number 2, they've taken map number 3, and they're just one game away from punching their ticket into going to China.
It's Envy. It's Shroud X. Who will change their destiny and their legacy? It's all on Wakanda domination, where anything can happen. In map 1, looked pretty dominant for Shroud X on the dom.
All right. It looks very similar to the start of our ban system, being able to put that save onto the Magneto, how powerful it is. Both teams probably going to have that Magneto available to them as we get to take a look on the other side, man. These Magneto bubbles have been coming in clutch. So Doctor Strange, though, too, which is something that was changed up from our last map specifically. The torch is off the table. Again, something else that we keep seeing. They're not letting Envy get away with that.
Absolutely, here as we head into what has been a lot of the same here in the strategy phase. And right now, it's Wolverine out. Doom does not get his wolf. They've given Cal that option multiple times. We'll see if it happens again. I can almost promise you, yeah, it's going to be Punisher into Mantis, potentially. We've seen now Vision really rely on this Punisher's final judgment oftentimes, but he can play a lot here. Do they give him the Hulk, though? Then they can swap over to Namor. They've got the triple res. They can only ban one more thing, Vic.
Ooh, that's a good point. Seeing what they're lingering around, as the safety pick is going to prioritize that Loki. So it's the same case here for Shroud X. They saved the Loki, they saved the Magneto. Now looking onto the other side, what that final ban is going to be the Mantis to prevent the res comp as they hovered over it, wondering if that's what they're going to stick to. Yep.
And it is. So they do open up the comp for Namor. And hey, at the last second, King of the Sea, can he bring this to 2 versus 2? In the match score here, final save, it's going to go to Doctor Strange. And how could you not after what Kalush did?
Very big comfort, both these teams, when it comes to that Doctor Strange, honestly. So that final ban is going to be able to come through and see what we're leaning towards, because Shroud X right now on their last legs, literally in this lower bracket semifinals. It's this next series here. You have to win this to make it over to land. That's what we keep highlighting, because when you look at the upper bracket finals, those two teams, they made it already. They just have to look at that big money bags to see where they want to situate themselves in. And now this time, though, it's not even just about the prize pool. It's also about competing, making history from our rivals.
Here it is. We got Vision Impunity thinking about what they want to do. Everybody else locked into their comfort picks. And there's the Vision on Namor with the Hulk, guys. We've got the Gamma Squids coming out, and it was terrifying. A lot of Hulk smashing, a lot of Tritons, a lot of death. We're going into map number 4, and this could be it for Shroud X.
That Thanos snapped off of this map here as we move right back over to Wakanda on Sovereign T'Challa as we get to see the chat Preds chat.
Wow.
Thank you guys for staying with us. We know it's late in certain parts of the world right now, but gaming never stops, especially the grind at night here. Shroud X, the chat has spoken here, Cozy. They expect Shroud X to take it 58% this game.
They want this puppy to go to 5 a.m. and I'm here for it, baby. As we see both bands rocking out late at night. It's it's so good. I was gonna say it's Saturday Night Live, but it's Sunday at this point. Sunday Night Live as we push in, as we have Bass gaze down upon us, the Black Panther himself. And we've seen this often. We've got the Strange Portal going right to the team. I think both are going to meet each other here going in.
Right off the rip, by the way, you talked about the Hulk here, and since they didn't ban it this time around, the Hook is out with Vision on the Namor, and Shroud X themselves said they see Vision as the best Namor to work around here. So this is going to be a different pacemaker against Envy.
Look at the mirror portals. They both have the same game plan to the T going in there as Kalush is pushing in, Impunity jumping back, and they knew what to expect here. Cal on Hella. We have to see what he can do because map 1 was not it. He wants to see if he can get this team and punch their way through. Now Cal trying to go for some quick picks with the Thorns. Everything on the line here. We've got Shroud getting the point. They're halfway. 3-4 now pushing in, but Kalush says, not if anything I can do. Now as he shoves in the Sorcerer Supreme whip slash magic and pop as he takes down Dogman. Window to follow with him, and right now it's close. The momentum has changed. Vicky now going in favor of Envy.
See him, watch him whip, watch him nay just real quick while holding forward to control that space. Vision's the next victim to fall down, and in this dominating first team fight win, which by the way took a little bit, allows Envy to walk on top of the point, but they do lose out on Speedery. Doom getting that final blow before trying to get back to the rest of their team.
Huge from Kalush. Look at that accuracy. Even it's so crazy to me. As now looking at the ult economy where the fights matter, we do have both Dance and Butterflies happening pretty much simultaneously here. Nuck is going to be able to keep them alive, and Fidel shortly to follow. Fidel, one of them are going to obviously help their team alive. Peter, that's their job though, just to get that out here, and it's going to be an even fight.
Having so much to work with for both of these teams, though, on the approach with Envy still having the advantage on the point, nearing 40% now. Dogman slowly approaching the Eye of Agamotto. Lanterns have already been used up as Speedery forces that out. Great timing, because now you can use the Dance of the Butterfly, but it was answered right back from Fidel, who has the counter with the ultimate. They pull him right back in. Speedery nowhere to run, as Vision has your number before diving right back in here on the Bucky, getting blocked out slightly with that shield.
Oh my! It is a full court press! Window nailing Vision from the other side of the map!
Oh, he yeeted it in his direction while Cal takes to the sky and gets the 2K. Speedery nailing the coffin. It's going to be another team fight win. Look at this form of Envy right now. They are stopping every attempt from Shroud X from forcing out different abilities, from getting these counter ults on top of it all.
Cal says, put me in, coach, and he shows what he can do, shooting threes with the Thorns from the sky, from the ground, getting the job done. Month has the invisible boundary to keep the team alive. It's going to come down. Can Doom get these picks? Love the swap to Vision here to have the challenge. 93-94. This is land on the line, and Speedery at the trade on Doom.
Oh, before they try to push in, they force out the overtime. Impunity with the Meteor, but with Doom going down first. It's just so big here as Envy get to wrap around. Kalush has the Eye of Agamotto. Impunity now moving to the side, yeets out the Meteor. They try to sandwich the player in the middle, but doesn't find anybody, while Kalush's damage output has been on another level.
Window getting pressure there from Vision as they're fighting on the side of the point, going in, meeting in together. Invisible boundary up. Agamotto down. He gets self-dazed on Doom, and the connections happen in reverse as Vision flips the script on Speedery. It's ticking by 99%, but Dogman trading Vision. Shroud X gets the point, Vicky. Oh my God.
It's the fate of both worlds right there that just helped everybody stay alive. The script was flipped in that team fight. 99%. And Cozy, we've seen this done before. The 0 to 100 takeover, and they still have 3 ultimates in the pocket.
We've been on for 10 hours of madness, and we continue here. You've said it perfectly here. Both teams have every single bullet of ultimate ammunition they need. Pushing in on the stairway here. Dogman getting connections, going against Kalush, one of the best at it here. Vision gonna wait to pop this, but at the point, Envy getting everything charged up, ready to go. This is gonna be tight.
He's waiting for the opportunity. He has to back away. The Magneto bubble to help him out, to put him right back to health, boosting into those support ultimates on the other side. While Envy also have an answer. They're about to have 6-man ults ready to go. Month being able to get that just as quickly as the engagement starts. Shroud X backing away because they don't really have as many ults, but they at least have Nook that could get the copy onto Fidel for the fate of both worlds.
Oh, look at Doom versus Speedery up there. Oh, and Doom's gonna go chase Speedery, going for it there. We've got the blades coming out, the executions. Who's gonna finish on top? Speedery takes down Impunity. That's a massive pin. to get Meteor Amp Collude, or going down Dogman with the Agamotto, and we've got Cal throwing down the grade. But no one's died. They're surviving, but Doom falls.
Yeah, the Eye of Agamotto's had eye patches on them and said it wasn't able to see anything, but I will have to say their Nero with the timing on the Fate of both worlds was going to negate the Eye of Agamotto. Even if it did land, they get off. Envy move right back on here, and they stay planted on the point for that first round.
Ladies and gentlemen, Envy is one map of domination away from making history, getting that last ticket, and coming back from adversity. Shroud X has put up an absolute valiant effort thus far, defying odds, but Envy, they can't be stopped. They won't be stopped, or so it seems.
Look at these stats. Look at this right now. Kalush, 11,000. Cal to follow up with 12,000 damage. Envy, with a lot of them only going down once, but on the other side, it just feels so close here, Cozy. Damage output may not be matched at the same exact level, but the way that they've been trying to back away without falling and actually suffering any casualties is even better with these re-engagements.
I just can't tell you enough how insane Kalush is for this team. They went and got their guy. They got their guy. He was on Sentinels. They brought him over to Envy, and he's been every bit worth what they got from him. As now they're pushing forward, both teams portaling to points. This is where you're going to see Shroud X put everything they've got into this. Envy, they can seal it.
Almost a mirror composition too, right? The only difference is that Envy does not have that Loki to work with, whereas Shroud X, they do. They have the high survivability, but they had used up those ultimates early on. Envy looking to wrap around. Kalush slowly approaching that Eye of Agamotto, while Impunity does have that Meteor. Tries to find him from the backline on that side room. Finds Nero this time around. Dance of the Butterfly just to put on a show here, as Shroud X had to utilize those two ultimates, knowing the importance of claiming that point first.
Oh man, the space ball sword slash special there. That's what you want to see, and it looks Shroud X looking like they did on the first time around on Dom. 10% up. Dongman still has the Agamotto. Nuck getting close as well, but Speedery, we've seen this man do it so many times. Can he get the backline picks here before Nuck and Fidel can charge up?
See with the Dance of Butterflies online here for Speedery. Month approaching that invisible barrier, as Dogman is going to try to jump in to try to take control over these backlines with the Eye of Agamotto before the approach comes in. The shield here with the bubble, but you knew who was ready. Cal may have gotten caught, but Cal, or rather Kalush, was waiting for him in the front line to shut down Dogman.
One Strange is the good guy, the other would be the zombie Strange we've seen from the movie. Kalush just ready for that. He did get Cal with that Agamotto, but could not get back to his strategist in time. Now pushing all gas, no brakes. Brakes ripped off the car. Kalush trying to get this point here, and Nuck having to use that dance floor that copied earlier here. Agamotto up on the solo hit there, up with the Meteor M, down with the slam jam, connecting with the screen, not the player's vision. Throwing thorns, Vicky. 63%. Tick, tick, tick. Goes the point.
Writes their name down with those thorns, with the death note. Instead is going to be Speedery holding the pen, and that was a counter between Cal and then getting to be able to get the reset on the Goddess of Death. As Speedery puts on a show, wipes out the team here once again. They reclaim it, but Shroud X at least have that extra progress of 75%.
An orchestra of destruction. Every instrument was set to loud, turned up to 11. Fidel with the dance ready and Impunity. They can get this point back to tie things up, and this is almost bleeding into the third match if they get this, right? Like, if it's 1 point to 1 points, how much ult you have to use to get it? But right now, Shroud X needs to get this one at 75.
Envy, though, looking on. One more round is all they need here to punch their ticket into China, and Shroud X have the ultimate to answer back. Impunity gets saved here. It forces Fidel to have the fate of both worlds, while Cal still has that Goddess of Death. Take a look at Nook and how Nook is going to be able to get this Loki ult. Now take it to the skies after Vision finds Speedery. This needs to be the retaliation, but Cal in the sky gets dunked in the head by Impunity in the Magneto ult.
And they get the point back too. Impunity's like, I'm hitting something with this, all right? Out of the air. Love it. Good job there. He sucks up the thorns, throws it in the face. 84%. They're going to be able to portal in here. They don't have anything to follow, but it's going to be shortly behind. So they have to get picks immediately in here. Agamotto v Agamotto. Who's going to land theirs? Is it Kalush with the huge? Or is it going to be Dogman, who's been hitting them all day long?
Both Nero, though, will have an answer back, and Nook is close to it, but this doesn't land here. Dogmeat gets immediately punished. That is not what you want to see. The Lambs called in from Nook, and Kaluja still holding on to their own Eye of Agamotto because they do not want this fight to be expensive. They don't have to expend too much here instead, and Envy get to retake the point.
I'm speechless. I mean, just that's exact opposite of what you want. Portal coming in strong, though. And Envy, though, they didn't use much. They have so much. They had to use Nero, right? Outside of that, though, they've got Month ready to lock and load yet again. Doom close to the Dance of Butterflies. You do have the Thorns coming out any minute, too. It's 60% to 99%. This, with the Portal used, could be the last fight that sends Envy to lands. Can they get the job? As I've said many times before, done.
Playing Ring Around the Rosie here. Was able to get the copy earlier before starting the engagement on the Fate of Both Worlds. Fidel slowly also approaching that Fate of Both Worlds themselves just to rotate through that. Kaluj took a lot of damage here. Month comes in with the invisible boundary. Doesn't find its mark with the Magneto ult, though. And Impunity going down first is huge here. Speedery then follows up, finds Fidel. That's 2 out. Envy's about to retake this, and Shroud are staggering.
From almost
Vision
land in China, but Vision gets the 3. He's gonna be able to touch 2. He's getting more. He gets another. Are you kidding me? What?
And he got the rest. He got the rest too. They bring the Loki right back with the Hela team up. The overtime taken away.
Holy carry! Vision!
He can't. He can't.
You can see China in his sights.
I am speechless. My mouth is a gap right now. I just can't believe this. Like, I want everyone to understand. Shroud X had played a lot earlier today. Like what? Like they finished their game at like 10 p.m., 10:30 or so. Like they were waiting for Reverse League to finish because we had 2 Reverse Leagues back to back. So they had theirs. They were waiting for another one to finish. It was like it felt like 3 hours, honestly, 2 hours or so. Stayed awake, probably were warming up, and they have drank their coffee. They are set up because Vision just saved that entire round.
Vision wants Shroud to buy a Vision Shroud X jersey, and guess what? The jerseys haven't even been made yet, Viggy. He's like, let's get these puppies made. Let's get to China. It comes down to this to tie the series. I cannot believe the... Oh, God, there's a pause.
No way. Are you...
There's no...
I can't make this up. How could this happen to me? Oh, man.
My... Okay. Just insanity.
Yeah, Cozy. Reflecting back on what just happened there, like players like we need a break real quick. We just need to reassess. Probably maybe a DC. We have to relook at what's going on over there. But this does add in a break for these 2 teams. It cuts off momentum just a little bit, but it's a hard reset from both sides now at this point.
Get the defibrillators out on both sides. Break glass in case of emergency. They're all broken. They're all ready. It's almost 3 a.m. for the East Coast. These players are gassed. They're tired. They're leaving everything out there. The body's not meant to pump this much dopamine and adrenaline into viewer systems, into players' clutchness. I can't believe it. I can't process it. Oh, we're in.
Oh, okay. May have been Vision or so. I mean, we saw that swap at the very end here. Sticking to that Hela, moving up already. We are taking the hands off the rip here. Frame 1 to Envy, and Cal's taking a good amount of that pressure.
Right away, Impunity going in and going down with the... Oh, Meatball does not connect. The Purple Rain does not shower on its opponents now. Mission unlocked here. 2 seconds, 1 second. It's Envy with now we've got Wolverine Cal. Almost 100 rage. He's going to slice and dice. He is the backup. He doesn't need any of it. No kidnap, but he does get some instant pressure here. Nero does got the dance to follow. Fidel can match. Dogman with the eye as well.
After getting that sidestep here, having to reposition, he gets away literally with 1 HP as Speedery gets the first pick. Envy have so much here, and currently Shroud X just called in the God of Mischief here from Nook after Fidel uses up their own ultimate. It's a dance. I'm talking about timing. The Eye of Agamotto drops in. It finds Doom before the ultimate could be used. Also onto Fidel, but Nook with the timing on the Fate of Both Worlds helps even better. Goddess of Death forces everything out for Month on the invisible boundary here, and the dance of the butterflies from Speedery as Doom is going to be able to pull the trigger second.
Every ability used to perfection here, but tick goes the clock. 22-24. Impunity pushes back. Vision could only do so much. Got the elim, but it's Speedery in the back line, finishing the story of Doom and the excellent run of Psylocke thus far. Shroud X, everything against the wall, but Envy, they want it. Doom slices Zero. Nero down, gets Mutt to follow. Both strategists down. Impunity trades with the Vanguard. They want the point.
Doom walking all over here. Speedery does find that pick onto Nook, but way worth it in favor of Shroud X to finally flip this point. Envy didn't even get to that 50% mark.
This team has made Shroud age 5,000 years. I mean, it's like they just love the pressure. I'm telling you, in teams, they perform like this. Now Doom having to back out, whole team falling down the cave there as they're going to try to bring the fight to them. Doom going invisible, looking for those strategists. Yet again, he just got 2 in a row, looking for some more. We've got Agamotto's ready. Nothing in the favor of Envy, so we can stall heavy here if you're a fan of Shroud X. Envy, though, they know what the job they need to do. Kalush pushing the point immediately.
Just to get the push right there over to the other side. By the way, that's something to keep your eye on with the Invincible Woman being there and having the environmental fall off here, as Muck just does enough to be the nail in the coffin to deal with Dogman, who goes down without using the Eye of Agamotto. The dance off here as Nook gets the copy onto the Fan of Both Worlds. The attempt on the kidnap here too. Impunity does have that meteor. It was carried to get answered by Window, who used it earlier, and now the survivability they have to get right back on.
Yeah, they got to stagger this as much as possible. That's the advantage they have right now. As Kalush lands a big eye, and it's huge once again, but a tick goes up. 57. Vision gets rid of Speedery, the biggest threat. Vision goes and resurrects Nook. That's going to be massive now for Sustain. Dogman to follow, 63. Oh my gosh, Shroud X, they won it. 65-44. They won 2-2. They won 5 a.m. They won China.
They use so much. They may not get it here because this is all the Vision show. Vision caught them in 4K on a big cutie LED screen. You name it, he has it. Everyone right now is looking at Vision on popping off. Doom, though, coming in as well with the Dance of Butterflies next, and Envy have nothing.
They're draining everything they have, every last bit of talent. Shred. Speedery is trying to get some early pressure. 94% to 44. Doom's got the dance, and we're going to see from him first. He's slicing, dicing, going for the strategist. Nero barely going down to 0, but staying alive. That's going to be massive as Doom trying to get more, but it's Cal that puts the pressure on him. Slice away. Dogman up. Dogman pressured. Can Dogman get the Eye of Agamotto? Eye of Agamotto's out on this team. Vicky Nuck can keep the team alive, but he's got to land it perfectly.
This is where it matters. Overtime. This is literally your travel ticket opportunity with this ultimate, but you have to look behind you because Window coming in on that Venom. They catch him off guard. Cal gets sustained here by Nero. Now coming in the Eye of Agamotto. It misses here from Kalush. Still a chance here from Dogman. He fights too, but then the follow-up here too with Nero having the fate of both worlds.
Vicky Toes on the point. There's a sliver left to make this thing 2-2. Speedery gets the pick. Impunity goes off. He slams down Dogman, but no, it's Mud with the invisible boundary. They got to keep the pressure on the point. They don't want any NV9 happening as now both teams. Speedery put the team on the back with the Fidel cancel, pushing forward, and the pressure is on to the max. He goes down. There's only one left to keep this dream at 3-1. It's a 2-2 finish as Legendary finishes off Venom, but oh my gosh, he gets the shields, Vicky.
Wait, they have to do something about Vision. They have to do something about Vision. The Legendary ends. This fight is still going. Look at the sliver of overtime. They need to provide some backup. This Venom swap from Window may have helped them out, but now taking to the sky is going to be Cal to try to block off Shroud X and their only exit point. Doomed to the Dance of Butterflies, but this is insane.
Lanterns down, momentum up. They've got still the stall there with the Venom on each side. Impunity just trying to keep this dream alive. They got Eye of Agamotto into the slice and dice. Kalush, though, he's been huge with these eyes. He's going in, but Doom's got the slice and dice in the background, putting the pressure on. Agamotto out, the sweep bump from Dogman.
That's the game-winning opportunity with the Eye of Agamotto, but you still need to clear this point. Window gets another Venom ult. Are you kidding me? Together with Speedery. The fact that this fight is still going on is not real right now. I cannot believe this.
We're on our third ult rotation. Cal now going to Spider-Man because they need anybody to stall a little bit longer. He's going up, he's going down. He's trying to get him. Impunity Venom symbiote on Spider, like the comics now, trying to put the pressure. The show is on. Nero's out here. Impunity going up with the Symbiont bite as now Fidel getting close to their drop of the beat. We're on our third old rotation. 1% left in overtime, and the beat drops from Fidel.
The back line, though, of Envy move all the way back. The focus is on Month, who's about to have the invincible boundary, but Vision getting the legendary on first. Shroud X have the advantage in their rotate of ultimates. They're sending Envy back, and they still have full control over this point. They staggered them long enough, and so has this fight gone down. We are going again.
Legendary! The legend of Vision! I can't believe it! It's 2-2! The whole house is up. I've woken up the neighborhood. But God, are you not entertained? Shroud has aged to the year of 40. Vision appropriately getting the MVP to keep the dream and the hope alive. Vicky, what did we just watch?
If that ends up being the deal breaker, whether Envy takes that ticket to their first LAN or not, you know that they're gonna be reflecting that forever. Like, you talk about Shroud aging another my voice has aged another 40 years. Are you kidding me right now? That fight went on for like 5 minutes. We had like 2 to 3 different ult rotations for everybody involved.
I'm talking out of a tube tomorrow. It's definitely certified. I talked to Vision late last night, and we talked about this team having the talent to be able to go the distance. I've talked to Kalush today, and they know what they need to do as well. Both of them, they want it so bad, and both of them putting everything out there for their team. It's a team sport, but we are seeing superstars in the making. They know they have the mechanics. They know they each have the talent. This is it. One final map, one team making it to LAN.
All throughout today, it's been, what, 9-10 or so hours of nonstop high-level action within the Americas on this broadcast. The Vision show for this round, not only with the clutch plays here, as you can see from Impunity over to the other side, but Vision being on this Hela, getting the res on Tanook, being on that Loki, taking this round specifically in the sky, the goddess of death, when nobody was left from Envy. There was 2 tanks with no sustainability, and they were already so low.
The hero switching too was impeccable. Cal is throwing down bombs of thorns over on Shroud X, and somehow through the chaos, Impunity able just to stay as Venom, soak up so much damage through it. I love the quick and valiant, I don't feel so good Mr. Stark moment from Cal on Spider-Man, just instantly being erased, but trying to bring any support at that point, right? You're just managing not cooldowns of abilities, but of respawns, Vicky, as we look at Vision, who is by far, listen, win or lose, one of the MVPs of this entire tournament and what he's put together.
Literally the win condition for this entire team. Like, give Vision anything Vision asks for, whether it be him utilizing the Hela, the Star-Lord, making those swaps at the very end to get legendary just as quick. I mean, how else are you gonna deal with a swinging Venom that just will not die? Like, Window got his ult like twice, 3 times in one fight. He just would not go down. And then you had Vision rolling out with the legendary and still playing around that middle console to get some cover. Like, that we are just getting nonstop peak. I just feel like we keep saying every game is at 100, but we keep getting even more games that keep topping it.
I know. How the heck is this the birth of rival esports? This is effing nonsense out here. Like, I can't believe how hyped this is for those that are here watching it. You just have seen a masterpiece unfold, playoff after playoff game, but today has been absolute nuts. We have one last break. No more. This is it for one of these teams. Don't go freaking anywhere. We're going to be right back. If I don't pass out. What's going on, guys, and welcome back for the final time. It's Envy, it's Shroud. One of them are punching their ticket to LAN. Me and Vicky, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the point where you're just laughing because it's just so much chaos. Like, this has been an absolute treat, Vicky, and I'm here for every bit of it, and I'm so glad I get to cast it.
We were here. We were here when history was written in the infancy of Marvel Rivals Esports. Are you not entertained? Everyone tuning in from all different parts around the world. Currently, it is 3 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. It is the witching hour. And now we have one last game that determines everything for these teams.
Absolutely, Vic, and this is it. We're gonna see what these teams are made of with everything against the line. The only difference, I think, is Shroud X, they were here just like, I don't know, at this point it feels like weeks ago, but it was just hours ago. And Envy, a team so tight of talent, of professionalism, they know exactly the job they need to do to finish. But to have that slip with Vision on a 5-piece, you can't make it up. But the huge old speedery, every talent oozed. I barely know what I'm saying anymore. It's insanity. I love it though, Vic, and I'm here for the last match.
I just want to ask Shroud X, like, how do they find comfort into just straight up adrenaline and always having these close call situations? Like, how do they keep getting away with this?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you got Envy, the whole rival scene have got to be yelling. They can't keep getting away with this, but they do. You see this in all the sports. Some teams, some players, they just play so good with the pressure, and it feels like Shroud X is a pressure cooker that constantly needs everything on the line to get the job done. And this is not just going back to today. This is going back to the group stage. This is going back to MRI. And this has been a lot of this team's identity. But from this point forward, it's only one to go with 100 Thieves and Sentinels to China. Shroud, either way, give Vision a raise. This has been entertainment. Envy, the entire team, you guys have been lights out. Let's put it all together for one last Super Bowl.
This is the time. This is the time to rally together, see where we're going to be moving on to for our last map of the series. I mean, how many times can you say that aside from our first series of the day, Cozy, we have had a game 5 situation for our last 3 series. 3 series out of 4 for today alone, all the way down to game 5.
Just absolute, the talent at this level is so close, and it's exactly what you want to see, starting with Ignite and moving on here, guys, as we continue to go with, what are we on here? It's somewhere in the 9-hour mark. I mean, it's been nothing but perfect ults, great communication, great teamwork. This is it, guys. It's match number 5. Shroud X Envy. Winner goes home and books a seat to China. Loser gets a seat on the couch.
Ah, my goodness. Get ready. Strap up here, Cozy. We've been in it for the ride, for the long run today, and I wouldn't have it any other way because we have just had nothing but bangers, and I do not want to miss this. To be honest, whether I was casting or not, I was going to watch this at the very end, and we're already starting things off very similar to what we've seen already before. No Emma for either team. The Magneto saves are probably going to go for both sides.
Knowing that these guys, they're going to somehow draw this map. Like, that's the only bit of nonsense that we haven't seen at this point. All night long, baby. All night long. All right, we've got now Emma and, yeah, same story bands. We got the Wool band typically to follow this, right? We've seen this song and dance before here. Last time, Vic, they went with Mantis and Hulk, right? Or that was a couple times ago. They've changed up what they've wanted to do each time. Yeah, so last time was Wool, Punisher, Mantis. Let's see if they follow suit.
Deny that from the res opportunity. The Punisher off the table. That means that they want to try to build into Speedery, enable Speedery. Since we're going on to Central Park, I like this place. Central Park does enable the Flyers a lot of that verticality that we keep mentioning to help reposition yourself, put in the pressure. No Mantis, that takes away the triple support composition as well as the res comp, and they're going to be able to protect the Punisher because they're expecting the same thing from the other Shroud onto Shroud X.
Yeah, this is 1-for-1, the same bands that we saw last time, but they protected the Strange last time. Punisher, I believe, was banned, right? So at this point, we saw Envy looks like a different team when they have Punisher. We've seen that now time and time again. That's going to be a big change for them. Ooh, I like that. Is interesting. So they go with the Storm ban. No Flyers outside of an Iron Man, which I don't think Speeder does. He's going to be choosing the Wolf. Wow, this is going to be tight.
Yeah, don't let Cal linger on that one. Cal was definitely shining on that Punisher. This is going to be interesting here. And even on the other side, Doomed being able to get away with what we saw Doom get away with on the torch earlier on. Nook still having that Loki, allowing the reset to help out with Doomed, who actually hovers over the Psylocke, so we're getting some swap-ups.
Oh man, thank you guys for listening to what sounds like chain smoke. I mean, like our voices are cooked, but man, it is just a pure kitchen of fire for both these teams thus far as we head into our last map here, guys, to decide the fate. It comes down to New York. We've seen Central Park so many times decide the fate of teams' destinies, and no bigger than this. And wow, 64% to SDX. Shroud X getting the love from the fans.
Dude, it's that every single time we see this weighed out more in Shroud X's favor. Do you see it? Everybody, you guys at home are giving Shroud X the energy. Let's not jinx it out here because Envy, they were right here. It's been back and forth right around the corner as we get started now. Dogman, I'm just picturing it right now, Cozy. Imagine just a huge Eye of Agamotto finally landing out here from Dogman. It would go crazy as Speedery rolls out on the Wolverine.
Look at the difference in like vision on Ultron, Impunity with the cap. This is a different look here. Doomed really the only same note that we've seen. Obviously Dogman and Fidel in the same roles as well. Gal though has done so much of a better job here on Punisher. I think they expected the Groot, so that's why you've got Speedery and what he can do on Logan. But we've seen time and time again that Wolverine can go crazy on this map as the aggression is pushed to 11, and they're pushing back Shroud X pretty fast here.
Another way that they're going to be able to use these Groot walls, though, just to shove them inside of that side corridor, while Fidel taking their time, Nook, Loki being able to get that ultimate online a lot faster, though, and that's something Envy can't really lean into, as Kalu's, though, could lean into that 1K onto Dogman. That's a big first pick that really only leaves Impunity, the off-tank here for Shroud X.
Does give the chance for the portal back, though, if they're able to push through this. That's the only difference, but it looks like they're going to go with just the reset. Oh, no, they are going to push in, so are they looking to do the portal? They got to communicate this, though, here as they slice and dice. There's one tick left. There's a lot of time left on this clock, and it's Speedery going crazy here. There it is. There's the portal going in, and we've got this swords going out as Punisher taking a lot of heat, but Cal stays alive, and the point, they left the point. They left the point. Doesn't matter how many limbs they get here.
Yeah, Doomed was fighting Ghosts in the backline with the Dance of Butterflies and then got left right in that moment off the point there too, while Shroud X were still taking control over the side. By the way, look at the way that they're still shoving Envy all the way back because Vision, Shroud X, this is momentum right here. Yes, they lost out on the point, but they can re-engage right now in that next choke.
That first point often doesn't last long for these teams. We've seen that every single time they go up against one another. Kalush now full W on the Master Magnetism. We've seen what he can do holding forward here. Both teams have a lot of ults. This fight is going to determine a lot, Vicky, in terms of who's taking this match. Impunity can stall. Dogman can throw the eye down. There is the symbol of Avengers. He can do it all day, and he's showing it here. Now we got Window throwing it in. Cal trying to get the finish job up. The show goes up from Fidel, keeps people alive. Nuck can follow with that, and right now, no team's falling. Every button pressed and every player pressed. Vicky, it's going to be close.
Completely neutralized here off the bubble into Cal with the final judgment here. Fidel had used up that fate of both worlds, and it's going to be a dance-off now from both sides in the form of the Loki getting the copy, while Doomed is just waiting for the dance-off to end before diving onto the backline. Still finds Muff. The Eye of Agamotto here. Dogman stunned, having to reiterate here, back away, but takes way too much damage for Speedery.
I mean, a near perfect ult from both teams, and Vision just doing what he does best. My gosh, near perfect ult from both teams. The Agamotto you definitely want back. Vision, God, Vision, my goodness, sir, on Ultron, it's the age of Vision. Goodness, that fight looked lost.
The age of Vision is perfect, by the way. Vision is just on another level. You know what? We are group Vision, and looking at the way that Vision has just put on a performance here, helped together with the rest of Shroud X. Envy, they know that Vision has been a problem now. Looking at the fact that they're running triple support, they have to get this answer as Window does have that Groot ult.
They used everything, though, to get that stop. They needed to. Window and Month can get a lot of momentum here. They've got a lot to show for it here. Bubbles up. Who's ult tracking here? Berserker Rage. Cal goes up. He goes down. He does get Dogman in it. Wanted more. They're pushing him back, and they're going to fall like dominoes right here. But honestly, Envy used a lot there. Month using their ult as well, and Shroud X is going to be able to recontest. And look, Vic, 86% Fidel. they could hold.
They can stall. It would really be up to Cal and this judgment, depending on how Cal times this. Do you wait this out from Fidel first before you pull the trigger, as you're going to have that first before the Fate of Both Worlds is activated, but they re-engage right afterwards, right on time. Look at that, point 14. Cal, though, gets a big pick onto Vision. This is why you see the Punisher. He's coming in, judge and jury of all, as Window gets frozen by Fidel, and the Fate of Both Worlds is answered way last, meaning that Shroud X can now re-engage after re-sustaining.
Fidel, yeah, has to stay married to this point here. Speeder, he's slicing up Nuck, getting rid of that. Doom trying to trade as well, but doesn't get it, as now Nero keeping the team up. Both speeds are down, 1.89, but the time is ticking. Momentum is fading here, but Cal with the shotgun. Every bullet has a name, and the name is Shroud X, as they take down one, now two, and they get the point with now 3 minutes and 10 seconds to seal the deal. That's an eternity on this point.
Cal's upset. Cal looks like he's playing angry right now. I believe in the player cam, it looked like Cal has been playing in the dark the whole time. It's a dark side version of Cal as he moves up together with Window. Just going to be able to set up these walls in advance to put down the pressure, the extra damage before it gets destroyed there, as Kaluch also has the meteor moving all the way up.
It is 3 a.m. for some of these folks, and it is absolute peak gaming. Vision now swapped over. Keep the eye on the Vision cam, as he is now Buggy Barnes with the Kraken impact, the carry hero, the snowball that can avalanche now as they push forward. Nuck has got the dance to keep them going. They can combine it with Vision for the damage boost up. There's the Groot from Window, and they get nothing from it. Nuck is going to copy. Nuck is now going to dance, but is saving it and patient perfectly here, Vic.
Just waiting to see the engagement. Doomed is on a side quest, by the way. Had taken a roundabout positioning to try to go in for the flank right behind, and look who's right behind him instead. It's going to be a scary show as Speeder is approaching that Wolverine ultimate, trying to see if they could get into position for a kidnap onto Doom, but it's a stalemate.
Oh, he gets it. Oh, and the mag bubble comes out. Really great job. What?
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
No way.
How was that trade possible? Oh.
They take it. The Lamb Skull comes out, forcing out the Fate of Both Worlds. What a trade from both sides. That's both Cal and Speedery, by the way, going down with those ultimate, while Doomed here and Fidel keep the rest of Shroud X alive.
No umbrellas can save you from tornadoes now, as now we've got the Groot ult coming from Window again. 2-in-1 fight. Two go down to speak of Doom, trying to get something going. Nero keeping the team up with the dance. Vision's got the Kraken, but no one has anything after that. This is going to take a miracle for them to hold. Minute and 23. We've seen Vision do it before. He'll have to do it again with the impact of Kraken. Let's see if they can get it done.
If Shroud X, though, have their win condition, it's going to be up to the Loki to have this ultimate, because now you have to think about the final judgment, and Speedery's already found impunity. Doom goes down next. Nook doesn't have it online yet. You won't have the Fate of Both Worlds right now, because nobody's left to touch the point.
0, 2.
Wow, played to near perfection there, Envy. I mean, they had the trades they needed, the ult fights they needed to win that, and they were able to get out those support ults on that stairwell battle. There's a minute on the clock. That's a long time. Long time. Shroud X, they've been here before. What I say, back against the wall, Vic, but we already know this is where they're comfortable. This is it, Vic.
Man, a lot on the table right now. I know we keep highlighting this, but you just have to imagine how long these players have been playing for. Their mental fortitude, knowing what's at stake, literally in this lower bracket. It's as tight as it's gonna get with the highest level of competition, but Nook was trying their darnest to stay alive. 0-7 on the Loki. The backline is getting harassed.
I think Shroud knew this team could go far. I think win or lose, he's massively impressed with the performance here. I mean, they put together, they formed a squad and Avengers. They didn't know what this team could do, and they've already excelled through greatness. Didn't want them to go down against a team that he thought they could win against. Envy, though, different story, right? And we're seeing the story played by some main characters in the scene. At the helm of Kalush and what he's able to do. Cal with the redemption story and the fate of just incredible duelist play at his hands. And of course, the Speedery show. This is it, guys. It comes down to one last heroic effort.
Time for the rodeo here as Speedery with the kidnap waiting in the shadows to find impunity. That is not how you want to start off already this attack, as you get to see Cal doing a lot in the back. Truly, doing perfect sitting in that turret, but it's about creating that space once they push forward.
Probably catching a quick sleep, right? It's 3 a.m. Just get a couple shut-eyes there while the team deals with the front line. As the teams are getting their charge up, and now we finally have some turrets bullets thrown, but good job by Vision there, seeing the turret in the back line. Vision now playing on that torch, Doomed on that side lock. Good wombo combo here as Kaluj is putting that pressure forward here. If you look at the ult charges, looking great there for Month, 89%. Speedery with another slice and dice. Not only going to give them the team fight win, but the ult charge at it, going to make it really hard now for Shroud X.
Oh, they're about to figure out right now that Wolverine right here in Speedery's hands is a problem. We've seen this before. It's not just the Storm show. It's not just the Torch, not even the Rocket or the Psylocke, but it's the flexibility here. And the Wolverine is just already putting in so much against this team.
Yeah, I'm just so stunned. You know, they did a great job. They saved that Punisher. Envy did.
No.
They knew the difference that it could do here. Speedery is just slicing and dicing the team. Their hopes for land now as Vision throwing down the tornadoes, making the strategist uncomfortable. Both internal bonds are out. Kaluj ready to rock with his meteor in. The Spaceball special has it. Dogman, he's been hitting clutch after clutch. Can he get another Agamotto? He gets the double piece on Speedery in window. That does stall the point, but it doesn't get the limbs that they need. Kaluj goes up with the hit, and can he slam it down? Yes, he can. Oh no, there's impunity though. Hit it on Speedery.
It was just him coming in, and he was just a bystander that gets set down as Kaluj moves up here, finding these trades. Envy with Cal coming right back in too, and it's Window that retakes this defensive point. Doom alive too, does find that one pick. There's another opportunity. You have to look at Speedery looking like a chameleon from both sides as you navigate around these group walls and still staying alive.
Oh my gosh, it's like the help comes from the portals just like in the end game. Incredible effort there, touching the point. Minute and 32. It was spelling doomed, but it was Doomed who stayed alive now. Vision throwing it down. Cal with the final judgment on the final game, shooting the bullets. Can he connect? He's going for the Strange. Dogman down. He wants more. He's thirsty for the win. Minute and 14, Vic.
Vision does have that supernova though. So much time dwindled away from their own time bank. Dogman's coming right back in, and with the stagger too, Envy are planting their feet on the ground. The supernova not getting checked. Doomed one shot because they were distracted looking at Doom in that side corridor.
The pressure doing well, but Month getting that internal bond right on schedule. Nuck with the same. We've got Disappear coming up. Invisible Boundary getting them some space, though, slightly off point right now. Just keeping the team alive as they farm up the rest here. Doom has the butterflies. We have Dogman on the Dizzy going down and up, and it's 1, 2, 38 seconds. It's about to be it for Shroud X.
The timing on the invisible boundary, though, right after we saw Nook get the copy, Fidel follows up right afterwards, and it's Speedery in the driver's seat. That's his face right now as he continuously slices through Shroud X. Now you have less than 20 seconds on the clock.
This is it, guys. It all comes down to this. 10 hours of cast, 3 AM nights, 2-2, best of 3. 10 seconds, the portal's been used. Speedery opens things up immediately, and Impunity goes up with the slam, goes down, does not connect. Finally, Kaluj, no, Window goes up, down, hits the shield. Overtime is on. This is it for the team. Impunity down, Speedery out, Kaluj pushed back, huge from Fidel.
But is it enough? Is it enough here? The time ticking away. They have to stay on the point. Doom, the only one left here. While Speedery is still alive. Still a problem. No one to touch. They were booted out. Too much pressure. Shroud X. They can't get to the point. Envy. They closed the chapter in one of the longest series that we've had.
From almost to maybes to land in China, Envy delivers. It's poetic. It's perfect. No more chasing. Envy becomes the team to be envied as Shroud X comes up a pixel short to get the point forward. And that is the end of the Swan Song. Don't call it a Cinderella story, but a story of a great team as Envy now makes land in China.
Man, that wasn't just a match. That was a masterclass in Marvel Mayhem, and it was all taught by Envy here, man. The way that these two teams collided, the way that Shroud X in general as a team has improved their flexibility. There's a lot to learn off of these VODs. Cal on the Punisher, all juiced up, by the way, booted up by the rest of his team. 17 final hits, 35 total eliminations. We look at the damage output there too on his side, 23K.
I'm left stunned. I'm left speechless. Cal said nothing was going to stop them from going to China. Not vision and the heroic efforts, not the comeback. It was all grit and glory for Envy, the team that could not be said no to. They know who they are. Envy's the name. We've seen the game. Impeccable performance around the clock. And it's insane. If you just put everything together with momentum, the time of night, the tournament bracket, the seeding, everything has come down to this exact moment, Vicky, and Envy is the one that decisively gets the job done.
Making the adjustments that they needed. Speedery, literally the VIP MVP for Envy. It was all a group effort, but the way that Speedery on this Wolverine, specifically on this defense, was just on another level. The kidnaps, the stalls, it all bit away at Shroud X and all their time bank into that attack. Look at this.
I mean, I just, when you look at the pick and the ban phase there, it's just, you know, it's kind of crazy. They got rid of the Storm for Speedery, but at that point they played pretty well against those Hurricanes. You would have thought the Wolverine would have been it. Nero, the hero, 4999 on the damage. Are you kidding me? This man played impeccable. The whole team played insatiable. I don't even know. This is madness. And would you expect anything less from the lead up thus far?
I'm gonna say that can't be the damage. Nero's being on the Luna. If we see that Luna damage output, there's a problem. That has to have been that healing output instead. But man, what a performance so far, Cozy. Literally game 5 back to back to back.
I told Kalush when they won, I said, if you guys punch your ticket, you better be on this interview mic right here. It's 3:30. I'm sure it's late. We've had Cal the last 2 times. I don't want any damn composure. I want there to show some just absolute excitement from what has been an insane series. But this team knows, they know who they are. They know what they can do here. And I mean, it's crazy because we still have a grand finale to go. We still have lower bracket fight. I mean, it feels like this was for just it all.
I know. If you stayed up here, first off, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we know that it's gone the distance. I wouldn't have it any other way. This is literally peak Marvel Rivals. And this is what happens when you have 2 tier 1 teams literally pop off. I remember Cal had said, I'm tired of being the one interviewed out here. We got to bring everybody else together at Cozy. And let's see who we got for the interview.
It ain't Kalush, but it's the other Vanguard who defeated his old teammates, taking down Shroud X. Window, it's 3:30 a.m., buddy. You guys punch your ticket. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm speechless. We're going to China.
I can't believe that, man. The maps, the stakes, the grit from your team. I mean, what a show, what a performance from all of you guys. Take me through this. You saw Shroud X win by a pixel to even make it to this game, and then they get close to getting to the same story mark. Just explain to me the emotions, the calms, everything around it.
I think with domination, any team can kind of come through and win. So we just had to realize as a team ourselves that it's not our strongest map, and it's okay if we lose it. We can bring it back. We're just better on every other map in the game. So that's kind of our thought process, that don't take it too hard of a loss if we lose on Dom. So yeah.
I like the approach because that was the only 2 maps you guys lost. I mean, I was going to ask, how did you guys keep your composure when you saw Vision do what Vision did in that second round of map number 4? I feel like it's so easy to get mentally boomed. What would be your advice to players if you lose a close round like that?
You just got to push through to the end. Every game is winnable. You can always bring it back, and we've made that very obvious with our sets and our matches.
Window, we've seen this team and what they can do, you know, off the big stage. Now on the big stage, you guys, you punch your ticket, you get the main goal down. Now, job's not finished, we know that, but tell me about it as you stack up. You look at 100 Thieves, you look at Sentinels, you look at now, you get to look at the regions, right? How do you feel like your team stacks up?
I think that we're one of the best teams in the world. Very, very easily. We have a couple things to iron out, but once we do that, I think we're there and we're taking it all.
Did any of it gut you that it was your old team that you took down and you played with these guys, right? In the back way in the MRI, like, how was that for you? I mean, even, you know, a little bit of more to the story.
It does create a little bit of a story. I love all the guys over there. They're great, but I think Envy's a better spot for me, and I think we're just better. I don't know.
How do you feel? How do you feel with your next matchup, man? Like, just looking at how everything is shaped up to be. You guys are already confirmed into China, but still the big money bags are lingering over your heads. You know, you guys made it this far. You're playing late into the night. How are you feeling for that next series?
I'm excited. That's the only thing I can feel is excitement to keep playing and competing.
Nice.
Listen, man, you're talking like a champ at 3 a.m. Love the white headphones. Love the clutchness. You are one of the most flexible vanguards out there. It seems like you could play anything. I mean, I've seen you now, and like, oh, I'm like, Windows a blank main or great at blank, and he's like, no, you could just do it all, and it showcases more and more as this team continues. Listen, buddy, I know it's late. I want you to go celebrate with the team. Job's not finished. It's on tomorrow, but now I get to shake your hand in person, say what's up. Excited to see you guys, and just huge congrats for making it to China and history and legacy for the first LAN.
And say hi to your dog for us.
Yeah, she's hanging out back there in the back.
So
but
cute.
Thank you, guys.
Just doing what I want to do.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Be well. Congrats to the team. Kalush, you owe me an interview, buddy. You owe me an interview as well. Love that we got to see